everybody, welcome back to 428 Shibuya Scramble again. Yay! Last time we didn't finish the time block as we intended to because my voice got tired. So we'll definitely finish 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock this time, and then we'll just see how far we can get. Sorry if my voice sounds a little nasally, I sneezed. It'll go back to normal soon enough. Like, I don't know, it stays like that for a while, then it goes back. So for a quick recap of last time. Okay, let's enter the game, right? So we can, because it's quite a lot to recap, right? So I'm gonna look at it in the game and then let's go over it by protag. Okay, Minorikawa. Since his name is pretty long, I decided I'm just going to call him like Mino. Mino is gonna be faster to call him. So Mino is a reporter. He's one of our new protagonists that we got to do. He's like a reporter, journalist, news person thingy. Yeah. So his friend who runs a tabloid made a huge mistake with his marketing and is now in heavy debt. And to help him, and so he can get out of that debt, he needs to be able to finish his tabloid articles by today, like within this whole day of the game, before like 8 p.m. to show that he can actually put it out, and that will ease the debt collector's minds. And to help him, Mino has decided to go around getting the articles for him because he's tried his best, but he's sure he can't do it by himself. So far he has one story, which is about like the CCTV cameras set up around by Achi's dad, who runs like a electronics store. It's not really a big deal of an article. It's more like, you know, it's security because it was like stopping crime and stuff and all that. And then here we have Osawa. It's pretty fast to summarize Osawa. So far, he's just the dad of the two girls. Like, the one of them has been kidnapped and then the other one was the one who had to bring the ransom money. And we see that there's this super deadly virus thing that he made an antiviral agent for, which is like something that fights the virus, right? Instead of like preventing it like a vaccine. Now his thingy hasn't entered clinical trials with humans because it's dangerous, and like even if it works on animals, they don't have like any proof it'll work on people. And he got a mysterious email where it's like sending him pics of the virus and like the effects of the antiviral agent when it was tested on some people behind his back, actually, and it was labeled like his crimes. And as far as I can tell, that's probably going to be part of the reason why his whole family's getting dragged into this. For Tama, I don't really know what her connection yet is, but she's basically a mascot girl who's just like handing out free samples and doing a mascot job of this super spicy drink. Hello, Blarneko. We're just going over the quick recap over everyone. For Achi, we were able to ditch the man. This is even faster to summarize. We were able to ditch the man in the cane. We find out from the girl that she was told to look for a blue van in Dogenza. I forgot the name of the place. In one of the streets, okay? And they go to that street, they see the blue van, and Achi tries to investigate it first, ends up fighting with the dudes, and they end up driving away because they started getting filmed. Kano was continuing to follow the people who had like the ransom money, and they just kept going in circles, passing it around to each other. And the only thing of note is that we've established the people with the ransom money is like a foreign crime syndicate in Shibuya, and that his girlfriend's dad came down from the mountains or something and went to Shibuya and wants to meet him. That's as far as it happened in Kano. If I remember right. Yeah, okay. We only have to finish Osawa and Tama now. I think Osawa should be clear to go. Last time he fainted because he heard his daughter disappeared, right? So let's try it again. I think I got a copyright claim on this song on YouTube, but it was fine. I'm gonna try dialing up Makino right now, okay? I didn't try it before. I don't know what'll happen. Okay. So he took a nice deep breath and then he dialed up Makino. Has there been any progress? Makino asked as soon as he picked up. His voice was somber. No, Osawa said. Nothing much yet. A tiny sigh came from the other end of the line. I see. Then what can I do for you? Sir, I'll just get right to the point. Have you conducted clinical trials using the antiviral drug? Makino didn't respond right away. What makes you think that? He asked at last. Osawa described the emails he'd received. When he'd finished, Makino let out his breath in surprise. Not over the phone, he said. We'll discuss this in person. I'll head over to your place when I'm done here. As soon as possible, sir. As soon as I can manage, Makino said. You're not the only person who's busy. Ayakamiki coming for cheap for real, honestly. With that, Makino hung up. There was no doubt about it then. There had been human testing. Osawa went to let Tanaka know he'd be meeting with Makino. Mr. Osawa, are you going somewhere? God! What's with the guy who is literally standing guy emoji in front of my door? A stolid-looking man stood in the hallway, almost as if he'd been waiting for Osawa to emerge. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the detectives from the precinct. Okay. He's a detective from the Criminal Investigation Division. Sociable but awkward. Despite his reserved personality, he can be quite unsettling. He's been given nicknames such as Japanese Columbo, Little Ken Takakura, given his own quirky demeanor as a detective. I mean, yeah, bro, this is a bit unsettling. If I walked out of my room into a dark hallway in my house and this man was just standing there... He struck Osawa as a bit too soft-spoken and meek for a detective, really. And his treatment of the kidnapping case gave the impression of a flighty detachment that had made him seem rather undependable. No, not really. Have there been any developments, detective? Kajiwara shook his head quietly. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Kajiwara then slipped a hand into his suit pocket. Banana? He pulled out a banana. Yes, it's literally just banana trivia. Are you hungry? These are good for you when you're tired. I'm fine, thanks, Osawa said. What? Is he so ominous? What is with these shots of this dude? The banana detective, let's go. Kajiwara seemed to lack the detective's sense of situational awareness. Just being around him got on Osawa's nerves. Well, sir, I need you to come with me, the detective said, if you don't mind. He took Osawa by the arm. Yo, Resident Evil flashbacks with this door here. As Kajiwara hurried him toward the living room, Osawa could hear the other detectives talking on the other side of the door. He's working at a time like this? Seriously? Sheesh, I do not get rich people and their priorities. Yeah, I feel bad for his daughter. Her dad's a real piece of work. Nice. They were bad-mouthing him in his own house. Did you guys ever think, oh, what if he leaves his room to go to the bathroom and then he overhears us? Oh, I'm really sorry about all that, Kajiwara said, pausing in embarrassment. Osawa pushed past him and opened the door. Jump scare incoming. Bruh! They all turned their head to look at him. The number of police detectives had holed up in the living room. They suddenly went silent as Osawa entered. So tell me, he said sarcastically, would you rather I stay here weeping as I watch this disaster unfold? The detectives winced and grimaced. Forgive me for not being a perfect father, he added, his hostility building. Kajiwara stepped forward to intervene before things got out of hand. Now, let's not be touchy. I am not being touchy, Osawa snapped, but he knew full well that he was. These guys had the time to sit around backbiting him, but not to go out and bring Maria to safety? Already close to half a day had gone by without any new developments. The ransom demand had come in the previous night at 8 o'clock. Maria had been abducted around, roughly an hour before. So it's a flashback. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., by Hachiko in Shibuya, have the sister, Hitomi, bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit. The kidnapper only called once, so the police were unable to run a trace. I'll do it, Hitomi said. Anything for my sister. She didn't hesitate in the slightest at the suggestion that she make the ransom handoff. Osawa was staunchly opposed to the idea, but the police were of the opinion that it was better to acquiesce. I know the word, but I don't know how to say it, okay? To the kidnapper's demands. Acquiesce, maybe? Ai's reaction, on the other hand, baffled nearly everyone. We don't have 50 million just lying around. Are the police going to be putting that together for us? Kajiwara stepped in to reassure her. If it comes down to it, the police will be able to help raise the money. Okay, go ahead then. Do it. We need you to pay it back afterwards though, of course. Well then, what's the point of that? Ai's voice spiked up to a piercing shriek. Calm down, Osawa told her. You're making a scene. Why are his family is standing on different sides of this damn table around the police? Why can't you guys stand together? Ai turned away in a huff. It's alright, detective, Osawa continued. I'll talk to the bank first thing tomorrow morning and figure something out. After that, Ai stormed out of the room. Kajiwara bowed his head several times in apology. Seriously, we really did talk over each other, like, over these detectives who are sitting here on their laptops. They're just on all four corners. All four sides. As soon as Hitomi has made contact, we'll apprehend the suspect and take things from there. What? Hold on. Won't that put Maria in danger? If we let the kidnapper get away with the money, we'll have no proof that he will return the hostage safely afterwards. Well, there was a certain logic there. Osawa had to concede. I see, he said. So you're saying that catching this guy will be easier for you if he keeps my daughter hostage. No, that's not what we're implying at all. Kajiwara wiped the sweat off his brow and bowed profusely. At least, I promise we'll get your daughter back safe and sound, Mr. Osawa. Obviously, there was nothing to be gained from further challenging the detectives. Alright then, I'll let the police do their job. Osawa bowed even lower than Kajiwara had. It's a bowing contest at this point. Oh, it's already like 55. It's 5 minutes until the end of this time block for him. How long are you gonna just loaf around? I shrieked as she stormed into the room. Hurry up and arrest this guy! She was becoming increasingly hysterical. An hour had passed since the suspect had taken the money, and yet the police had made no effort to apprehend him. The police apparently had a rule against discussing an operation before it was fully resolved, so the Osawas had been left in the dark. We are once again standing on We're standing way across the other detective, and then Ai is next to us. At least that's an improvement from last night. But they had overheard the task force talking over the wireless, and it appeared that they were deliberately letting the suspect roam free. Hey! I snapped again. If he gets away with our money, then you are going to reimburse us, right? Osawa scowled. She made it sound like money was more important than Maria's life. The detectives exchanged uneasy glances. Oh shit. This is like me standing up for the detectives, or me just letting the wife get away. If I say it doesn't matter, she's probably gonna get mad, but honestly, what's more important is the daughter's life, so... Osawa chided his wife. It's only money, it doesn't matter. Only money? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how much we're talking about here? The ferocity in her voice left him no response. He should have known better than to expect her to make sacrifices for his daughters. By now, he was accustomed to Ai's coldness towards the two girls. The twins were Osawa's daughters from his first wife, who passed away 15 years early. I see what's happening here. I see why she doesn't like them. Okay, then. I had no blood ties to Maria or Hitomi herself. Well, I continued, are the police going to reimburse us or not? She glared pointedly at Kajiwara. Well, right now we're focused on making sure Maria is safe. I stormed up to him, shouting right in his face, "Stop dodging the question! Answer me!" "Yes, of course," Kajiwara squeaked. Maybe, would you like something to eat to maybe help you calm down?" He held out a banana, and I smacked it out of his hand. Oh dear, what a waste. Bro, it's still got the peel on! It doesn't mean you can't eat it! Kajiwara scrambled to retrieve the fruit from the floor. Osawa went over to Tanaka and whispered into his ear, "I'm gonna meet with Mr. Makino." Tanaka nodded silently. Turning, Osawa saw Kajiwara looking in their direction. They made eye contact, but Osawa looked away and strode out of the living room. Is this to be continued? Not yet. What the fuck, Kajiwara? Everywhere I go, I see his face. Not the banana. I know, right? Kajiwara followed after him. "Excuse me, Mr. Osawa?" "Yes, what is it?" The detective fussed sheepishly with his hair and forced a smile. "Sir, we'd appreciate it if you could remain in the living room as much as possible." Osawa was in no mood to stand on propriety. "Look, I got a ton of work to do," he said. "Are you going to tell me to play the role of the grieving father too?" "No, not at all. Personally, I happen to think that you're an admirable father, Mr. Osawa." Admirable. Did the word have a ring of sarcasm? Oh, the goofy music! He had no way to tell if Kajiwara was being forthright with him or not. "You're no ordinary fellow, Mr. Osawa. You're a genius." "A genius? Me?" Osawa made a skeptical noise. "Am I mistaken, sir? You made very important strides in the field of virus research. Or, well, so I've been told." Osawa wasn't sure how to respond. He'd never considered himself a genius. He was just someone who was more interested in viruses than he was in other people. "Everyone who's a genius is also a little bit odd after all," Kajiwara went on. Probably he'd intended that as a compliment, but still. I mean, there's nothing wrong with weirdos so long as they leave us ordinary folks alone, you know? Is this guy trying to praise me or insult me? Osawa let out a heavy sigh. Genius, weirdo, what did it even matter? So long as he could be left to his work, he didn't care one whit of how he looked in other people's eyes. Kajiwara wiped the sweat off of his forehead with a handkerchief. But by the way, what are you working on right now?" he asked. "I'm afraid you wouldn't understand even if I explained it to you," Osawa replied. "Right, precisely. Even if I gave it my full attention, it would still be beyond me." He peered with sudden intensity at Osawa's face. Whoa! Bro, the personal space! Why is he so close? "I'd appreciate it if you didn't hide things from me, sir," he said. Osawa gaped at a loss for words. "Oh, I'm so sorry," Kajiwara added hurriedly. "Goodness, that made me sound like I'm accusing you of hiding something, didn't it?" The detective bowed his head repeatedly. "I hope you'll forgive me." He held out the banana. "That won't be necessary." How about this then? Oh, chocolate. Why is it eaten? He pulled out a bar of chocolate from his pocket. "No, thank you." Did this guy just carry an endless food supply wherever he went? "Oh my," Kajiwara murmured. You geniuses are really tough to sort out." He inclined his head, mumbling to himself for a moment. "What can I get for you then, sir?" "What I'd really like is some time by myself." In a daze of exasperation, Osawa felt his way to his study. Locking the door, he finally let out a breath he'd been holding. And then his eyes alighted on the bookshelf against the wall. Don't tell me you got a secret passageway here. Oh no, you don't. It's just a picture. Aw, that's cute. They were so cute. I like the hair clips that they have. Look at it, it's ribbons. I like those kinds of hair clips. He pulled out a photo album and began to flip through it. There were pictures of his daughter's grade school enrollment ceremony. Oh, this is enrollment? I thought it was gonna be like graduation. Their mother had already passed away from illness, so Osawa had taken the girls himself. He remembered that, after the ceremony, he told me he had come down with a fever. He told me he had been rather sickly as a girl, falling bedridden at the drop of a hat. Maria, by contrast, had been lively and energetic, quite the handful. Osawa found it remarkable that their personalities could be so different despite them being twins. He flipped further into the album. Oh, they swap now. Now Maria is the one who isn't lively in grade school graduation. There was a picture of the three of them at their grade school graduation. Maria was looking away from the camera. Osawa felt like someone had stabbed a dagger in his heart. His daughters or virology? Which truly concerned him more? Which did he truly love? It was ridiculous to try and compare the two. He'd known the answer before he even asked himself. Even so, human emotions were complicated and sometimes made people act inconsistently. One of the consequences of that was this photo album. Why? This was the last photo he had of Maria. What? That's so long ago, right? They're already in college. He searched and searched through the rest of the album, but she was nowhere else to be found. Aww. To be continued. Yo, bro, what? What else is in the album then? Don't tell me it's all Hitomi. Damn. This goes deep. She's been going through it for a long time. Alright, Tama time. Okay, here we are. Don't let it get you down, sir, I say, hoping to comfort him. But Mr. Yanagashita just lets out a sob-choke sigh. I try again. It'll be okay. Whether or not it does help you lose weight, it is spicy and it does make you sweat. I'm not sure I follow, Chiri says. How much are you selling these bottles for, boss? Oh yeah, he did get scammed. 15,000 yen per bottle? Are you serious? Selling all 300 bottles would yield proceeds of 4.5 million yen. After deducting all those costs, it roughly gets a profit of 2.5 million yen. It's doubtful anyone would pay 15,000 yen for a single small bottle, but you never know. There could be a few housewives or young women out there who'd fork out that much in the name of weight loss. A terrifying thought. What? Cherry's jaw practically hits the floor. Mine does the same. No way. Nuh-uh. No freaking way. Calling that price point absurd wouldn't even begin to do it justice. Well, look, selling it at that price is my only option. I need to cover my costs. Anyway, please, I need you both to work your hardest. Apparently, he's committed to this insane course of action. Okay, Chiri replies. That's more like a sigh than a proper response, but I can't blame her. As for me, I can't even find the words. I'm so flabbergasted. Just sit there and don't speak up. Is this a scam? I can't just sit there and not speak up. Isn't this just a scam, sir? Sorry, can't hear you. Yanagashita plays dumb. Fine, I repeat myself. This is a scam, isn't it? He tilts his head to one side. Something's wrong with my ear. Undeterred, I repeat myself once more. This is a scam, isn't it? Tears are welling up in Mr. Yanagashita's eyes. Look, kid, he said huskily. Listen up. He's clearly struggling to maintain his calm. You're in the grown-ups world now. I nod a few times. But a scam is still a scam, right? I say. You, sir? What's your name again? Oh, it's Tama. Okay, Tama. Why are you still wearing your costume? What? He straight up dodged my question. Oh well, at least I tried. I explained the situation with my suit. She looks so deflated with the... It's cute. Wow, so then are you gonna do the sales demo like that? Well, if I can't take the mascot costume off, then I don't have much of a choice, do I? No, that won't do at all. I hired you to be a model. If you're wearing that thing, then what's the point? I'm at a loss for words. The point is exactly what he's missing. It's not like I'm wearing this getup because I want to. How about we just cut it off, yeah? Chiri says with a big grin. Bro, it looks like a straight out of a horror film. She pulls a massive pair of scissors out of their bag. The blades make an unsettling snip-snip sound as she waggles them in my face. Whoa, no, you can't do that, he exclaims. That suit's a rental. I don't want to have to reimburse them for the thing. Well then, what am I supposed to do, I ask. He looks at me uncertainly. Maybe you could have someone from the rental place come down, Chiri suggests, before helping herself to the rest of my lunch. Oh hey, good idea, Yanagashita says. He seems to be making an effort to calm himself down at least. Just try and grin and bear it until then, Tama. Well, I guess that's that then. Ah, cute, it's so big. Wait, I'm going to drink a little water and blow my nose a bit. One moment. Ta-da! There, I think my voice feels a little clearer now. There we go. I'm sure we'll get it off eventually, I say. Hopefully before the demo. That's the spirit! I really need you to be my model. A model, huh? It's flattering, but I can't help but wonder. Would I look any good at that? Would I be any good at that? Well, this is no time to be timid. I need that money, no matter what. My troubles all started earlier this morning. Uh-huh. I was at a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. I'd happened to pass by and I spotted a red necklace on display at a storefront. I got this weird sensation when I saw it. You could call it like deja vu or something like that. It was as if I was drawn to it somehow. This was mine. I was sure of it. I wanted it. No, I needed to make it mine, as soon as I possibly could. That's how strong the feeling was. The price was 40,000 yen. I checked my wallet repeatedly, but I only had 20,000 on me. Nonetheless, I needed to have it. There was only one question. How? Somehow, I managed to drag myself away from the shop, and just a few minutes later, I ran into Mr. Yanagashita. Hey, a voice said out of nowhere. If you want, I can pay you 10,000 for a day's work. I found myself staring at this frumpy middle-aged man who was handing me his business card. Managing Director Junichi Yanagashita, Yamato Health Foods Co., Ltd. I'm in a real bind here, need some extra help. Would you mind coming with me? I'm begging you, just one day. He seemed pretty sketchy. As much as I needed money for that necklace, I wasn't gonna go anywhere with some random weirdo, so I ignored him and just tried to walk off. Please, please! Yanagashita grabbed me by the hand. Watch it, pal, I snapped. Hands off or I start shouting for help. Please, it's not like that. Just hear me out. Look, I'm in a hurry. Please, please! Knock it off! I spun forcefully away from him, yanking my hand from his grip. Oof. Oh hey, we can kinda see what Tama looks like, but it's not enough to go off of anything. Because it's just her backside. Yanagashita whirled through the air and fell into the bushes. Whoa, where'd that come from? He gasped. His eyes were as wide as saucers. You a martial artist or something? No, I think that was just a fluke. Truth be told, I was surprised myself at how I'd pulled off that escape move. Ah, okay then. Look, I'm sorry. Can you give me a hand? No way. I mean, can you give me your hand? My hip's killing me here. Ah, wow. I guess. The least I could do was help the guy get to his feet. Look, why are you hounding me so much? Please don't be angry. The moment I saw you, I just felt it. You're the only person who could possibly do this job for me. I let out a sigh, but my interest was admittedly piqued. What kind of job? I need a sales rep for a health supplement. I want you to do PR as a dieting success story for my product. Just look at you. You have the body of an actress. Sales are gonna go through the roof. Well, it was hard to feel too offended when he told me that. The job didn't seem as fishy as I had initially suspected. Alright, maybe I'm interested, I said. There's just one thing. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure I can handle it. I need 20,000 yen as soon as possible. So if the day only pays 10,000, alright then. If you can sell 100 bottles at our sales event, I'll throw in another 10,000 as bonus. How's that sound? I certainly couldn't think of any other way I was going to earn 20,000 yen in a single day. This might be exactly the break I needed. Blood put the amazing body woman in a mascot suit. I know, right? Oh, you've got a deal. You have my services for the day, I said, bowing my head. Yes! Yanagashita jumped for joy. What about your hip? Huh? Oh yeah, it's better now. All better. Fixed itself just now. He's wiggling. Yanagashita bowed deeply and I gave him a dubious look. Look, I'm sorry, he added hurriedly. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, honest. I was just scouting for talent and I saw you and, well, was trusting this guy really the best idea? I was starting to worry, just a little, about whether he'd actually pay up. Look, I've staked everything on the sales demo later today, he went on. This is a make or break opportunity of a lifetime. Sure. I'll be honest with you, I'm in a ton of debt. 2 million yen. 2 million. Yanagashita's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. If I don't pay it back by the end of the day, then boy howdy am I up the creek without a paddle. How did you even get into a situation like that, I asked. He gazed skyward, a far-off look in his eyes. Because even if he knows he has no chance of winning, sometimes a man just has to stand and fight. But I guess a girl like you wouldn't understand. Blood really did the 90% of gambling addicts or something quit right before they win big or something like that. He really went for that. He laughed and smiled at his own words, but he was right. I sure as heck didn't understand it the slightest. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagashita briskly rummaged through his bindle and thrust the cat costume out towards me. What? Here? Yeah, before the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. Hiya. Job's already started, you know. And with that, Mr. Yanagashita went about getting me into the mascot suit. Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I was going to get my hands on that necklace, I had to take the chance that this job would pay out. I doubt we're gonna be able to sell a single bottle of this crap, Cheery whispers in my ear. I'll just have to do the best I can, I say. I say it more to myself than to anyone else. Once again, I ask myself, why am I in such a rush to get this necklace anyway? I honestly don't know. It's the strangest thing. I try my hardest to think of a reason, but all I get is a dull, aching throb at the back of my head. Yeah, couldn't you, like, talk to them? Go like, oh, can you reserve it or something like that? It's the same pain I felt earlier, as if I've gotten a good bonk on the head or something. Huh. Oh, we finished the time block! Yay! That means we move on to lunchtime! 12 to 1! Hooray! Hey, trailer! Oh. I wonder if the girl with the glasses is the reporter we asked for help from. Let's go. Okay, there's still 5 of us. It's kind of tough to decide where to start. I know Minori is going to get, like... Let's go with him. I know he's gonna intertwine with a bunch of their stories, right? So let's see where his goes. He stood on the sidewalk weighing his options. Chiaki's phone call had thrown him in for a loop. He'd expected her to be anxious about doing interviews, but wow, she was a basket case. Still, that didn't change the fact that he had a schedule of his own to keep. The surveillance camera story had to be his top priority. Chiaki would just have to find some way to fumble through things on her end. He headed down Dogenzaka, scanning his surroundings as he went. There were cameras set up on the street lights all over the place. Hey. There were so many, it was hard to believe he'd never noticed them before. One over there, another one just over here. Electronic eyes peering down on passersby from high above where they were tougher to spot. Just how were people who came into Shibuya reacting to this situation? Hey, you there! Minorikawa called out to a man riding by on a bicycle. Hey, you! Stop! The man brought his bike to a sudden stop. Hey, it's this guy again! Taisei Yasuda, proprietor of a knick-knack shop. Roughly 30 minutes earlier, he was wandering along the tracks, picking up lost and abandoned items. Achi foisted his trash off onto him, so he's in a foul mood. Oh my gosh. What's the matter? He asked. Hi, the name's Minoru Minorikawa. I'm a freelance writer. Okay. I'm just doing interviews for a magazine, and I'd like to talk to you. A magazine? Which one? 4-Star General Gossip. Minorikawa did his best to sound proud. Oh, well, I'm actually in a bit of a hurry here. Minorikawa soldiered on. See that? He pointed at one of the nearby surveillance cameras. What? The man asked. The blimp? Bruh! What? The timing of a massive blimp to be... The insane timing? Oh my god. It's an Ayakamiki blimp! What the heck? A massive blimp was indeed drifting slowly overhead. No, the camera! A camera watched them both in uncaring silence. Oh, that. What about it? What do you mean, what about it? Those cameras have been installed all throughout Shibuya. They're taking anything and everything. Privacy be damned. A shocked pallor came to the man's face. Oh, really? He muttered uneasily to himself. I guess I should be careful next time I go picking stuff up. Hey, what are you talking about? Minorikawa asked. Oh, nothing. Just stuff. Way to dodge the question entirely. Anyhow, I think there are some good things about cameras too, the man said hurriedly. Oh? Minorikawa asked. Such as? Well, I mean, they must have helped catch some crooks, right? Yeah, I think you're right about that. Oh, I am? The man looked shocked to have his own statement confirmed. Are you hiding something from me? Huh? No, nothing in particular. The man shook his head vehemently. Nothing at all, really. How to be sus 101! Well, whatever, Minorikawa said. In any case, even if the cameras are helping in arresting criminals, there are places where people just don't want to be watched. Huh? For instance, how would you like it if someone set up a security camera inside your home? What do you mean? I mean, a burglar might try and get into your home, but if you had a security camera, you could be alerted right away. Isn't that kind of an extreme argument? No! You're the one making an extreme argument here. What? The man stared bewildered. You're saying it's okay for folks to film around town as much as they like, but not to look inside people's houses. Yeah, I guess I am, the man mumbled. Minorikawa snorted. You don't think too deeply about things, do you? He mocked. The man huffed in indignation. I don't see the problem, he said. I mean, it's a normal enough opinion to want to bring down crime but also protect privacy. Well, yeah, so? If they're just going to set up cameras around town, I'm okay with that. Minorikawa grinned inwardly. You're being naive, he said. Way too naive. Naive about what? By now the man was getting worked up. Once you start letting people watch you some of the time, you'll eventually let them do it more and more. That's how the world works. A simple change in camera angle is all it'll take to steal the last traces of your privacy away. That's kind of funny coming from you. Doesn't 4-Star General Gossip get all its scuttlebutt by invading the privacy of others? Since when are you people concerned with personal privacy? Meaning what exactly? Minorikawa asked. You know damn well what I mean. Have you no shame? I have nothing to be ashamed about, Minorikawa exclaimed. If some celebrity scandal breaks, I write it up in the form of a top-class socially conscious expose. That's the Minorikawa seal of quality. The man rolled his eyes. Please, as if anyone's ever heard of that. Your everyday freelance reporter would say something about how security firms have no right to use cameras to disrupt personal privacy. But not me. Oh no. I'm the only guy who would write a first-class piece on the subject. And you want to know why? The man's only response was a doubtful look. Because privacy only exists for me to utterly demolish it. No. The banter between these two? Why is Minoru's like dialogues always so weird? Minorikawa finished with a prideful grin. That's nothing but journalistic arrogance, the man railed. Oh yeah? I'd rather have the surveillance cameras every day. Any day. I don't know. If an alternative is some weird gossip piece. This time, Minorikawa didn't have a handy retort. An awkward silence descended over the pair. Huh. Right. I see. Minorikawa muttered to himself as he busily scribbled on his notepad. The man was visibly taken aback. Thank you for your cooperation, Minorikawa said at last. You gave me some good stuff. He held up a hand to forestall an angry retort. I realize I probably got you all a bit riled up. You'll have to forgive me. What? The man peered up at Minorikawa in disbelief. This is just my interview style. Sorry, I know it's a bit unorthodox. Buddy, you're a weirdo, you know that? The man said. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Minorikawa laughed. So can I go now? Sure, I'll quote you as a passerby A in my article. Sure, whatever, man muttered. He quickly sped off on his bicycle. Minorikawa now had some material for his surveillance camera piece. He wanted to organize what he'd managed to put together so far, so he headed towards his next interview location, while keeping an eye out for a cafe where he could stop by to work on his copy. Oh no, don't tell me he'll stop in the cafe where Kano's girlfriend is. He used a map included in the project proposal to guide him. It was hard to read the words and make out the details, but it looked like the Nokane building where Burning Hammer demo was being held was just down Center Guy. There was no indication of which floor the event would be held on, however. This made him a little anxious, but he'd probably be able to find someone to point him in the right direction once he got to the building. Oh, it looks like a different cafe. He spotted a cafe up ahead. Coffee, please, he shouted as he strode inside. He slumped down in an open chair. Hopefully he'd be able to hole up in here until 1 o'clock working on his article. If he couldn't have it done by then, finishing a whole issue by the end of the day would be a tall order. He pulled a cigarette from his overcoat and waited for his computer to boot up. Having a smoke was Minorikawa's little trigger for going into writing mode. Okay, it's state of being in a mood to write some text. As Minorikawa, he switches between writing mode, interview mode, food mode, and sleep mode. Sometimes he goes into writing mode and food mode at the same time, sometimes even straying into sleep mode in the midst of food mode. When he's even busier, he'll eat, write mid-interview while nodding off. This is known as the ultimate mode, bruh! He stuck the cigarette in his mouth and lit it up. The first heavy draw of smoke, he felt his mind focus. The rough idea for his article came to his head nearly fully formed. All he had to do now was get it all written down. Finally, his laptop finished booting up. Took you long enough, pal, he muttered to the computer. His hands leapt to the keyboard like a predator pouncing onto its prey. In a matter of moments, he had hit his stride. Fingers clicked away. One by one, lines of text filled up his screen. Oh my god, anime moment. A waitress stepped up beside him. Excuse me, sir, but Minorikawa was in writing mode. He didn't even hear her. Sir? Sir, I beg your pardon. Again, Minorikawa was deaf to the waitress's attempts to get his attention. Sir, excuse me! The waitress smacked the table. Quiet! Minorikawa snapped back. He slammed the table right back. Don't interrupt me when I'm working. Not if you know what's good for you. The waitress didn't so much as flinch. She leaned in aggressively, getting right in Minorikawa's face. Ikumi Omiya. Appearing cute and demure at first glance, she's quite strong-willed and frightening when angry. She works nights at a place called the Scolding Pub, where customers rent private rooms where they are scolded at length by attractive girls. One middle-aged businessman once told her, "Your face looks simply marvelous when you're angry." Bruh! Sir, I hate to bother you, but I have to ask you to please refrain from smoking. Minorikawa blinked. Huh? This is a non-smoking establishment, sir. No smoking? Minorikawa asked. The cigarette bobbed in his mouth as he spoke. The waitress pointed sharply to the sign on the wall. Bruh! The words "no smoking" were spelled out clear as day. We ask that patrons please not smoke so other customers can fully enjoy the aroma of their coffee. The waitress drew herself up in arrogant triumph. A woman sitting at the table next made a face as she tried to fan the smoke away with her hands. Customers all around the shop were glaring at him. You guys don't know the first thing about the aroma of coffee, Minorikawa scoffed. The scent of coffee truly comes to life amidst choking stench of tobacco smoke. The waitress's only response was to jab her finger again. But this time, she didn't point at the sign. She pointed to the door. Sir, if you're going to smoke, please take it outside. He got kicked out. Oh well. Sometime later, sitting inside Cafe L'Autre, he ended up in the cafe where Kano's girlfriend is anyway. Minorikawa lit up his third cigarette. At last, a safe refuge. It had taken him some time to find a place that allowed smoking after he got kicked out of the first cafe. Now, he was in a rush to make up for lost time. His fingers flew over the keyboard at lightning speed. The more he wrote, the harder he focused. At this rate, he'd have the story wrapped up in no time. Today, you hear me? A voice intruded suddenly on his awareness. One of the other customers was shouting. You're breaking up with that fellow today. Minorikawa's fingers drifted to a halt. He looked around to see where the voice had come from. An older man in red in the face, was shouting at a young woman who sat across from him. Please, Dad, the woman pleaded. Stop, you're making a scene. Ah, a father and daughter then. It was rare nowadays to see a father behave so imperiously towards his own daughter. Just how sheltered had he been trying to keep her? Minorikawa couldn't see her face from where he was sitting, but his interest was piqued. Let's gossip. Let's gossip. Let's go take a look. Should he move to another seat where he could take a look? Gathering up his laptop, Minorikawa switched to a different table. I don't care if I'm making a scene, the older man was saying. I'm not leaving until I see you cut ties with that boy, do you understand? I understand that you're never happy unless you get your way. You're acting like a spoiled child. Don't you talk back to me. You don't understand your own situation. You're letting your emotions cloud your judgment without putting any thought into your future. No, Dad, you're the one who doesn't understand. The father-daughter argument was getting more and more heated. Dad was clearly furious. Minorikawa shifted closer, curious to see what might happen next. Then he saw the daughter's face and gasped out loud. Oh, hey, I know you. You're on TV, right? The father scowled up at him. You must be mistaken, he said gruffly. No, I'm sure of it, Minorikawa said. Ah, what show am I thinking of? The young woman who seemed disconcerted by his enthusiasm. Who was she? He called out to a waitress who was passing by. Hey miss, do you know this gal? She's an actress, right? It's right at the tip of my tongue. The waitress ignored him, but Minorikawa was undeterred. I know this. Weren't you in one of those TV dramas or something? Oh my god. He's probably thinking of Masami Nagahana. Okay. Right, we're leaving, the father grumbled. He rose from his seat, radiating aggravation. Huh? The young woman said, but not waiting to hear her objection, he grabbed her by the hand and stormed out of the cafe. Hey, hold on, Minorikawa squawked. His plea fell on deaf ears. All he could do was watch him go and shuffle back to his seat in disappointment. Damn, what was her name? I should have asked for her autograph. Mumbling under his breath, Minorikawa went back to typing. I think I fucked Kano over with that. Like, quite possibly, I probably should have ignored them. What's that? His hands went still as a strange noise intruded on his reverie. Whatever it was close by. What in the world is that sound? Okay, let's check it out. I need to get to the bottom of this or I'll never be able to concentrate. I'm like that. If I'm listening to music or someone is talking, like I'm watching a stream or something, I won't be able to read. Like, even if it's a manga, I'll keep rereading the same line over and over again. Just where the heck is that sound coming from? He searched his surroundings for a moment and quickly discovered that the noise was coming from his own bag. He pulled out one of the most important tools of his trade, a bug detector. Instrument for finding listening devices. Oh, okay. If it was on, it had picked up a signal. To a reporter, information was life. That made owning a bug detector a sensible precaution in his line of work. With the device in hand, Minorikawa casually scanned the area. Eventually, he zeroed in on the signal. He stood up. "Everyone, your attention, please," he announced. "Someone set up a listening device in here." Several cafe patrons turned their heads in disbelief. A woman wreathed in pungent perfume flashed him a disagreeable look. "Oh, come on, that's ridiculous," she huffed. "There's something fishy going on." "The only thing fishy right now is you," the woman declared disdainfully. "Why don't you get out of here and let everyone enjoy their meals?" "No, I smell a scoop." "You what?" "You, what's your name?" "None of your business, that's what." "Now hurry up and stop that awful noise." Other customers were starting to murmur loudly. "There's a listening device here, folks," Minorikawa said. How can that not bother you? Do you know where it could be?" "Excuse me," the woman called out. "Could someone please do something about this man?" A waitress hurried over. "Sir, please, you're bothering our other customers." "There's a listening device in here. That's what people should be bothered by right now." The waitress took a reflexive step backwards at the words listening device. "You're the one who's intruding on everyone," the woman shouted. "Honestly, could you please stop that racket?" "No, it's not me making the racket, it's the bug tracker." "Just who the hell do you think you are?" "Why does she seem familiar? Is this I? Like Osawa's wife? Like, I feel like her fashion is similar, but I don't remember if the face is. So who the hell do you think you are? Police? Somebody call the police." "Ma'am, please calm down," the waitress said. "There are other customers here and..." "I'll calm down once you get this disrespectful boor out of here. All I'm doing is sharing the truth. You can't kick me out for that." Man, if I was one of the other patrons, I'd be like, "Man, that guy again?" The waitress wavered, clearly intimidated by both of them. "You sure got a lot of nerve," the woman snapped at Minorikawa. "Go play detective somewhere else." "I'm not a detective. I'm a reporter." "Really now? By far my least favorite profession." "Oh, and why is that? Did somebody write a story about you, lady? Got skeletons in your closet?" "You shut your mouth. How dare you?" "Yeah, I smell a scoop right here." "Alright, and the smell is coming from you." "Stop it with your scoop nonsense already." "It's no use trying to hide things from me. You have no idea what you're talking about." "Oh, yes, I do, lady." "Go to hell after you." Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Bruh, guys, are you really? This can't be real. As they shouted over each other, their words blurred together until they were barely words anymore. Onlookers could only hear indistinct, meaningless raving. And still the yelling went on and on and on. Eventually, there came the sound of approaching sirens. But even when a police cruiser pulled up outside the cafe, the two didn't slow their bickering. Oh my god. Is this a bad ending? Yeah, it is. What the heck? Sniffing for a scoop. By the time he came to his senses in a jail cell, it was too late. Just finish the article. Okay. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I will just finish the article. Let's go back in. How far in were we in the timeline, though? 25, eh? Not bad. Well, never mind. I need to focus on finishing this article. Minorikawa tried to immerse himself in his writing again. Before long, he stopped worrying about the curious sound. Excellent. And just like that, it went from 25 to... what is that? Is that 40? 40. Yeah, 12:40. Time passed. Eventually, the pace of his writing slowed down a bit and Minorikawa glanced at his watch. It was later than he thought. Pretty soon, he was going to have to head over to get an interview from the diet drink people. He reached into his bag for the project proposal to double-check the demo location. Huh? The proposal, it's... gone. Crap, where did it go? He checked all around the table, but he didn't see it anywhere. Maybe he left it at the other cafe, the non-smoking place? Well, he didn't have time to go back for it now. His phone rang. What now? Minorikawa snapped as he answered it. A tiny squeak came through the receiver. It was followed by the sound of sniffling sobs. I'm sorry, I just... Chiaki? Was she done with her interviews, maybe? It's no use. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I try. Her voice broke up into further sobs. Oh, come on! This again? Really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Please, just let me go home. Minorikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chiaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. Try and keep at it a little longer. You should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological. What if he cut her loose now? All this frustration would have been for nothing. But I can't do it, Chiaki whined again. Please just forget you ever called me. She hung up before Minorikawa could get another word in. He tried calling her back, but she didn't pick up. Damn it, Chiaki! Don't you dare bail on me! Leaving the money on the coffee table, Minorikawa jumps up and bolted from the cafe. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Minorikawa looked around, but there was no sign of Chiaki. She bailed. Minorikawa dropped to his knees in despair. His last hope had up and left. There was no one else he could even ask. Damn it. Alright then, fine. I'll do it myself. He dragged himself back to his feet. Alright, listen up. Oh, why is he standing on the statue? He shouted at the passing crowd. I'm doing street interviews here starting now. You guys, shut up and help me. I mean, don't shut up, but help me. Bruh! He wound up blowing way too much time just to get 2 pages worth of content, leaving himself unable to finish the other articles. In the end, the issue of 4-star general gossip never made it to the newsstands, and Heaven Publishing went down for the count. Oof. I guess someone else can stop Chiaki from leaving? Chiaki calls it quits. What made her run off though? She shows up in Kano's story. Oh, okay. Well, that's as far as we can get for Minorikawa right now. We'll have to go to someone else then. Solid start though, solid start. He's already at 1240, right? 1250 even. He's already really far. Okay. Sure, why not? Let's go Kano. So like we'll go in this order. Minorikawa, Kano, Achi, Tama, and Osawa last. Unless like we get stopped. We'll see. Let's go! Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the Itachi case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same. Follow and observe. Oh, they're passing it off again. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? It was Sasayama. At some point, he'd crept up on Kano from behind. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled dictum number 89. Oh shit, let's go. What does it say though? Okay, number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. If Tateno's wisdom held true, the syndicate must have had some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw off the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if it's exactly what they were after? Buying time. Kano felt a sudden conviction when he was on the right track. If they just needed more time to make sure they got their hands on a ransom payment. Wait, hold on. Could it be that the real case has already been switched out is what I feel is possible? It made a certain amount of sense. By handing the case off to one accomplice after another, they were leading the detectives to pay more attention to the individuals than the case itself. That could enable them to swap the case all while the focus was elsewhere. Kano shared his hunch with Sasayama. I see. I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah, we might be following the wrong case. There was a palpable tension in the air now. Kano, Sasayama said, you gotta report in to Kuze. On it. Kano's hand flashed to his wireless, but Kuze was dismissive. No, that's the case, I assure you. No offense, sir, but how can you be sure? Kuze sighed, because that's my job. There's an ID tag in that case that allows us to keep tabs on it. There's no way those crooks could have whipped up a duplicate. ID tag? What ID tag? Wait, no, that's right. Kano had forgotten all about that detail in the wake of his all-nighter. Oh, right. Don't you oh-right me. Clearly you weren't hired for your brains. Focus on what you're good at. Kuze ended the call. Still, Kano couldn't shake that his conviction that something was off. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. He's right back where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. Honestly, it looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese, entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on the notepad. He glanced at the pad but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looks like she had just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy. Is this Chiaki? She's dressed so cute though. Well, that's sure fishy. Sasayama's muttered. What, the girl? Kano asked Kano. Yeah, wanna go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing, questioning her. Okay, so I assume she gets questioned, right? That's probably why she got tipped over the edge. So I'm gonna have to say she's not involved or something, right? She can't be involved with this case, can she? Sasayama flashed him a skeptical look. Don't let your preconceptions get the better of you. Could get you killed. Fixed notions. Okay. I know that, but still, she doesn't come across as involved to me. Kano knew better than to judge people based on appearance, but he was still convinced the girl wasn't part of this gang. She just struck him as far too, well, inept, really. Alright, I'll go look into the girl, Sasayama said. You keep following the Itachi case. Kano nodded and hurried after them. Okay, wait, so it's either me or Sasayama. Should it have been me? Because if it's Sasayama, I can't control it. Huh. Not sure. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. Well, we'll just come back to it. If Minorikawa is still at a dead end because of that, then we'll see. The man's... Okay, yeah. Occurred to Akano that all of the criminals who handled the Itachi case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed all while wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was this really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their own plan, whatever it was. The first page of the Dick Diary spelled things out loud and clear on that front. Oh shit, Dick Dictum number 1, what is it? Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Okay. Now, right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns, for sure. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. It's a flashback! Is everyone gonna flashback? Oh my god, he had the same expression. A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene just because his box was shut down from the street was just down the street from the standoff. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. Step aside, a voice said suddenly from amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. I'm sorry, sir, Kano said. You have to stay back for your own safety. He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation? Oh, Sir, I'm sorry. Yes, of course, Kano stammered and quickly explained. He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building. Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight up to the building. A plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents over his head. Oh, it's this one! He mentioned this before. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. I've covered myself in gasoline too, Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. If you're gonna do it, Tateno called out. We can die together. He walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. Onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno now handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of police drama. That was amazing, Kano breathed. You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this even get even a little out of hand and you never know how things might go south on you. Tateno spoke quietly, almost as if he was talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time. I mean, what if he'd actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same. Kano still remembered the awe he felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat during times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant that he was in good physical shape for the job. He never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace, but now here he was in the presence of a detective who literally risked his life in line of duty without a second thought. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off the gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. And that was the start of the dick dictum. Oh my god. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. The birth of a legend. I'm gonna be right back real quick. I'm just going to go to the CR. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay. I also got some water because you know Shibuya. Shibuya Scramble really do be like that. Need more water. All right, let's continue. Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't gonna bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. He uttered the fundamental dictum out loud. Well, you've lost sight of it completely, a voice said out of nowhere. What? Kano spun around. It was Shizuo. Oh shit! Rumi was with him. Sir? Kano stuttered. Weren't you supposed to be waiting at the cafe for... There was some low life there, so we left. Oh, it's okay. We screwed each other over. Okay. Rumi's dad looked plenty mean under ordinary circumstances, but now he looked like a man possessed. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm still on duty at the moment. I'm going back home, Shizuo huffed. You're not marrying my daughter. He turned to walk away. No, please, just wait. I'm done waiting. I'm going home. Please don't do this. Just hear me out. That's all I needed to hear from you. Rumi, we're leaving. Dad, please. Goodbye. Bruh! Seizing his daughter by the hand, Shizuo stormed off without another word, dragging her behind. Shinya! She called out over her shoulder. Rumi. She was gone. Rumi was gone. Kano desperately wanted to go after her, but he hesitated in an agony of indecision. I can't turn back on my responsibilities. I'm a detective. My work has to be my first priority. Going after Rumi isn't what a good detective would do. Oh, Detective Tateno, what should I do? Tateno, Bad ending. Still, the dictum echoed in his mind. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Thank you for the hydrate posture check and the stretch. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Oh my god, 6 months later. Kano made his way through the small corner in a vast field of Nagano countryside. Slowly and leisurely, he tilled the soil. He'd surprised himself with how he found... With his newfound enthusiasm for organic farming, learning more from Shizuo day after day, his father-in-law taught him the ways of farming from the ground up. Whilst things had been rocky between them at first, their friendship was now growing strong. Bruh! Pausing to wipe his brow, he smiled at the acreage around him. He looked forward to tending the crops he'd sown until harvest came around. If he stayed on as a detective, he might as well never found the joy he found. He'd never known the joy he now found in his work. And this wasn't the only seed Kano had planted. Oh god, if you know what we mean. Oh my... By the time harvest season came around, the new life growing within his dear Rumi's belly would be ready to celebrate it with them. Oh my god. It wasn't so bad for a bad ending, though. We got married! Oh my god. Okay. Let's not chase them out of the cafe. Minorikawa. Hey, he was almost done though. What the fuck? Is that over here? Oh yeah, here. Peculiar father-daughter pair. Let's ignore. Article. If the young lady looked anything like her father, he'd just as soon pass. Minorikawa went back to his typing. A few minutes to re-establish his writing groove. But with the two still bickering across the room, but thankfully he regained his focus. Okay, nice. There, it's saved. So Kano shouldn't be in danger anymore. But Wait, the bad ending also disappeared, didn't it? Let's check. Let's check if his bad ending disappeared. Or if I had to go as Kano. Let's see it. Okay, diet drink people. The proposal is gone, yes. He's still getting a call. Is it still the same call though? Chiaki. Is she done with her interviews maybe? Hang on, it looks the same, I'm just... Okay, it's not the same. We're the ones who hung up. Okay. Look, you got our own problems to deal with. You're gonna have to find some way to manage. But I can't... Sorry, I'm hanging up now. And so he did. Okay. He had to hurry. He had to get to the demo venue. But he'd lost the map and forgotten the location. Think, man, he told himself. Where would they hold an event like this? Someplace big, right? There ought to be a guide or someone out front too. With these assumptions in mind, Minorikawa broke into a run, searching ahead as he went. He stopped when he caught sight of a particular multi-tenant office building. A whole stream of women were filing inside. All of them looked a little heavy too. Pay dirt! This had to be the health food company's sales demo. He hurried into the building. Okay. The women were queued down the hallway. This was definitely the place then. More confident by the moment, Minorikawa made his way up the stairs. Finally, he reached the front of the line. There was a notice posted on the doorway. Minorikawa read it out loud. Auditions for the starring role in Sun TV's Sumo Queen 2. What the heck? Okay, a suspense drama about a string of murders that crop up while a group of female sumo wrestlers tour the country. The Maegashira, Komusubi, Sekiwake, and Ozeki, the 5th through the 2nd place wrestlers from the East and West, are all killed in sequence, leaving only 2 of the top-ranked Yokozuna. With the real killer still unknown, things have come to a heated climax in the ring in the final match, when the loser tearfully confesses to her crimes. It concludes with the victorious wrestler, who'd also been playing the part of detective, sorrowfully looking the culprit in the eyes and stating, "It's off to the big house with you." Oh my god. It was a sequel series to a recent TV drama featured full-figured actresses. That's it! Minorikawa exclaimed, a new project proposal springing fully formed into his mind. It felt as if he'd been struck by a bolt of divine inspiration. Big bodies, bigger names! A new arena opens for aspiring plus-size actresses. Never mind the diet drink demo. This was going to be Minorikawa's big story. Why does it feel like a bad ending? Like the music... Minorikawa managed to meet the deadline. The show, however, wound up being a massive flop. Sales of that issue of 4-star general gossip were likewise lackluster, with an unprecedented number of copies going unsold. It was still a bad ending, okay. Mr. Toyama's debts continued to spiral out of control. And before long, Heaven Publishing was no more. Damn, but what did... It's gotta be a decision from someone else, isn't it? It's cause he lost his map. Sumo showed us a massive belly flop. Okay, here we go. Oh! Tama can do something at 12:15 that causes Chiri to head to the cafe and can help Minorikawa get to where he needs... Okay. In the meantime, back to Kano. Kano! You should be cleared. Determination. Okay, there we go. This is exactly where we left off. Letting crooks just wander around wasn't gonna bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Shoot, it's bleeding pretty bad, he heard someone say behind him. He turned and saw 2 young men carrying another along. There was a towel wrapped tightly around the third's head. Hey, what happened? Kano asked. Shut your mouth, Kano blanched. Candy attitude, he's trying to help, another voice cut in. It was Sasayama. Had he finished dealing with the girl by the station then? What happened to your friend? Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look. Sasayama unwrapped the towel from around the young man's head. Ooh, that's nasty. The young guy was little more than a kid. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. Huh. Should we call juvenile affairs or the hospital? Juvenile affairs? Maybe? Like, could we pass it off to someone else? But we can't we just call an ambulance? Hospital? They were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. She'd probably take him to a hospital. Kano offered to help carry the bloodied young man, but Sasayama stepped in front of him. He quickly flashed the two youths his badge. Oh crap, you a cop? Sasayama nodded. Who you kids with? The BAMs? What's that? It's the number 2 gang. Okay. He's inferior to SOS, but on an individual level, the members are stronger in a fight. Okay. SOS? SOS, admitted one of the young men as after some hesitation. Who attacked you? Yo, it ain't like that. So, what was it like then? In fighting? The man was silent. Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In course of his police duties, Kano had picked up a fair amount of street gossip from the young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was they were dealing with some internal strife. Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Hurry up and get him there. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand and quickly hauled his friend away. Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh? Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young men as they headed off. Yeah, seems like it's been pretty rough. You know, with the original leader leaving after all. The detectives in juvenile affairs were well acquainted with SOS's original leader, Achi Endo. Stories were like something out of an after-school special. There were tales of them taking down gangs who sold drugs to kids or breaking into Yakuza front offices to save their friends. The detectives of juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt, but if there were really young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. That's okay, I'm sure you'll meet Achi at some point. Okay, there's the guy. The detectives had to hurry up and catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around. Still following the same MO, huh? Sasayama grumbled. Guess so, Kano said. How'd things go with the girl? He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked. You were right, she's not part of this. Just one of those street evangelists or something. Oh yeah? She kept asking me, but are you really happy with your life? It wigged me out. I bailed out of there quick. So, Sasayama? I'm thinking the Itachi case is going to get handed off again at any moment now. Huh? Sasayama peered at the mark who was scanning the plaza he just entered, apparently looking for someone. I take one side, you take the other, Kano suggested. Sasayama's eyes went wide. Say what now? That way we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff. Sasayama didn't reply. Look, HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety, Kano said. But that needs to take priority here. Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity. Disobeying direct order is not something to do lightly. Then, after a moment, he added, but I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway. That's the Sasayama I know, Kano replied with a chuckle. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. Okay, we're gonna apprehend him. The two detectives took up position on opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on the cell phone. You ready, he asked? Just give the word. There were only 2 non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain the handoff was about to take place. And then... well, if it isn't Mr. Toyama! Kano's ears picked up the sound of an aggressive greeting, a voice dripping with feigned cheer.
He whirled around to see two rough young men confronting a father and his daughter. The older man looked pained. "Please, just hold on," he said placatingly. "I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock." The young man snarled. "Don't you try and play dumb with us, buddy." "Oh no, it's Mr. Toyama!" "Okay. It's nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I just stepped out to..." "Yeah? How come you didn't just order delivery, huh?" Yes, right. I suppose that would work too." "Don't you me, man." Kano watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercation put him in a bit of a spot. The crook he was tailing probably wouldn't risk handing off the case with an uproar like this going on. "What's going on over there?" Sasayama asked. "I'm not sure," Kano replied. "Looks like some kind of argument. The suspects are gonna get wary on us. Gonna screw up the whole handoff." "And yeah, I know." "So do something about it and get over here," Sasayama said. "What?" "Find some way to shut them up, then get over here." Sure, alright." Kano headed towards the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked. "Hey, Kano!" He made a run for it. "Huh? Oh crap!" The man they'd been tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off of him. "Wait up!" Kano shouted. Sasayama was racing after the suspect, and Kano rushed to join him. The man was surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets as fast and hard as they could. "We lost him," Sasayama admitted at last. "Damn it!" He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust. "Director Kuze," Kano gasped over the wireless. "I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the attache case." There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to wheeze out of this one with just a "I'll do better next time." Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct. Kuze out. With that, Kuze switched off the line. Back to the precinct. Kano knew full well what they meant. They were off the case. There was gnawing in his gut. If those two punks hadn't shown up, no, if that father and his daughter hadn't turned up, he might have been able to apprehend the suspect. Yeah, but who can stop them? Let's see. "Aw, don't let it get you down," Sasayama said. "I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun." The look on his face, however, suggested he didn't think it was fun at all. Not one bit. With the air of the two men heading to an execution, Kano and Sasayama trudged back to the Shibuya precinct. Let's see who can stop them. A certain someone needs to give those two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Both are key to changing poor Kano's fate. I am not sure I know those. But we're just gonna have to keep moving then. Kano is stopped at 1240 Minorikawa 2. Osawa Tamaachi, I know Tama can send Chiri to help Minorikawa, right? So let's go with Tama first then. Just because we know exactly that she's going to help. In 1 hour, the Burning Hammer sales demo will begin. She's still eating. Sana all. Chiri is laying out the assortment of snacks that we have on hand. Hey Tama, you hungry? Why, yes, I am. That means it should be pretty obvious at this point. All I've had since putting on this mascot costume is some Burning Hammer and a bunch of iced tea. Hey now, Chiri shoots back. What's with the attitude? Chiri, you do remember that you ate my lunch, right? The sticker said it was best before noon. You just made that up. Yeah. Chiri chortles merrily and chugs some more iced tea. Okay, folks, Mr. Yanagashita calls out as he slips into the room. Lunch break's over. Back to work. I don't feel like I've had much of a break. If anything, I'm even more mentally exhausted than I was before. There's a box full of Anagotchi toys in the storeroom on the 3rd floor. Mind bringing those down? Anagotchi? I asked. What's that? The name makes it sound like some sort of knockoff product. Oh my god. Yanagashita's face widens in surprise. You've never heard of them? It really is Tamagotchi. You know, Anagotchi, the digital pet game where you raise an eel that lives in Tokyo Bay. Oh my god, what? Okay, you raise a conjure eel, Anago. Feeding it daily and clearing away feces. Depending on how you raise your eel, it can become a normal eel or ultimate... up to ultimate eel sushi. You can also use infrared communication. Bring your friends over for your eel to have from another nearby Anagotchi device. Sister product, Trout Watch. Connecting the two, you can see a special event where the eel and trout characters go to a pub together. Bruh. Never heard of it, I say. Well, I guess maybe a lot of people in Japan haven't heard of it yet. But it's all the rage with the youngsters right now over in New York City. NYC, right? Yeah, New York City. It's popular in New York? Really? Anyway, I did some quick checking and that's what I learned. So last month I bought a whole bunch of them. And once again, you were swindled. Yep. Ouch. Cheery dropping the hard truth. Mr. Yanagashita lets out a pathetic whimper. No. Just like that, his confidence evaporates. He starts muttering to himself. I thought it sounded a little fishy, really. I mean, think about it. Why would kids in New York be interested in raising eels from Tokyo Bay, he muses. And what appeal would an eel character have anyway? None, that's what. Should have known that. I did know it. Then why'd you buy them? This farce is getting tiresome. Anyway, Yanagashita continues, it was gonna cost too much to keep them in storage, so I was just gonna let the recycling guy take them. He hangs his head in shame. In a matter of moments, he's borderline catatonic. Wait, where's the button there? Borderline catatonic. The type of eel that gives Anagotchi its name, Anago, can be loosely translated as the creature that lives in a hole. Mr. Yanagashita is probably wishing how he can crawl into a hole right now. Cheery, on the other hand, flashes a big bright grin. Oops. What did I press? Shift. Oh, shift is autoplay. Oh, okay. I accidentally turned it on. Oh, okay, that's why that flashed. Still, you know, eel's pretty delicious. Oh, cheery, Yanagashita blurts. Thank you. He clasps her hands in gratitude. Wasn't exactly complimenting you there, boss. It's the same thing. There's a little bit of me in each of my products. Anagotchi and I are one and the same. We can play it. It's a cook. Bruh! Bruh, why does it turn into food? Which is to say, eels and I are one and the same. Go on then, say something nice about eels. Cheery chimes right in without missing a beat. Eels are awesome. When it comes to eel sushi, 100 pieces barely whets my appetite. You know, you two make quite the pair. That really means a lot to me, Cheery. Thank you. Thank you. I don't understand what any of this is about, but if it helps mend Mr. Yanagashita's wounded spirits, I guess I can't complain. I leave them to their devices and head for the storeroom. Alright then. Bro, the dark cat. Okay. The storeroom door opens with a rough grating sound. Okay, now where's the light switch? I fumble around in the dark, feeling for the switch box. My costume paws mute the sensations in my hands enough that finding it is difficult. I bat at the wall willy-nilly until eventually the lights come on. Apparently I found the switch even if I didn't feel it. Whoa, what the heck is this? Eh? The storeroom is practically overflowing with shoddy goods. A painting that looks like a child's scribblings, oddly shaped hat bearing the words "Grow 2 inches guaranteed." A cheap-looking pendant with tag that says "Set with the Miracle Stone." A simple glass beads purchased at 5,000 yen apiece. Damn. It's like this is the knockoff boneyard where cheap products go to die. They break away from their pathetic herd knowing their time has come and end up in this graveyard of a storeroom, bruh. Let's see, Anagochi. I quickly spy the cardboard box I'm looking for. Then I catch sight of a dark silhouette out the corner of my eye. Eek! I yelp. No way! Why is it a video? Why is it a video? I felt that in my soul. It's one of them. Black, flat, quick, long antenna, often spotted in kitchens. Sometimes, somehow, their legs wind up in restaurant food. Ew! Oh my god! The size, the shape, the speed, the dark shape. It couldn't be anything else. It peers at me from the shadow of the Anagochi box, a faint light catching the luster of its carapace. It looks ready to leap out at me at any moment. I need to act fast. Why will I challenge it to combat? I'll take the box and run. Logically, that's what I would do. I snatch up the cardboard box and make a run for it. I cannot, man. Like, cockroaches? Ah! Whew, I made it. When I get back to the break room, Mr. Yanagashita is still clutching Chiri's hands. An eel's super tasty when you salt broil it too. Thank you. But tempura style is probably the best. Thank you. Well, Mr. Yanagashita's spirits have certainly turned around. Okay, I got it. I hold out the big cardboard box. Excellent, thank you. You girls are the greatest, Yanagashita shouts. His voice resounds with gratitude. Hey, that's it. I just got an amazing idea. Why don't the three of us start our own company? I'll pass. Chiri and I responded in unison. Man, you two shot that one down quick. Well, for today, let's just focus on selling Burning Hammer. By the way, I asked, where is the Burning Hammer? There wasn't any in the storeroom and I don't see any here either. Oh, that's right. It's back out on the loading dock. Should probably go and bring it in. Oh, and bring the Anagochis with you too. The recycling guy's gonna start showing up soon. Come on, let's go. Chiri and I follow Mr. Yanagashita out to the loading dock. Let's go. Oh, what? There's nothing here though. Oh no. But the loading dock, it turns out, is empty. There's no sign of Burning Hammer anywhere. It's gone, Mr. Yanagashita murmurs. His voice raises to a shout. It's gone! All gone! The Burning Hammer! It's all gone! Flying into a panic, he searches frantically from one end of the dock to the other, leaping into the air, even peering down into the cracks. But no matter where he looks, there's nothing for him to find. It was right here a while ago, like, right here. Right there. I hear the sound of an engine revving outside. Mr. Yanagashita cries out in alarm. We see its truck starting to pull away. The bed is piled high with cardboard boxes and other assorted trash. Hey boss, is that... Yes, there it is! Mr. Yanagashita begins racing after the truck. My Burning Hammer! His voice cracks as he cries out. Give that back! Give it back! But his speed is no match for a speeding... But he's no match for a speeding truck. And the boxes of Burning Hammer vanish before his eyes. Burning Hammer! Oh my god! Come back! Come back! Yanagashita's wailing echoes from the surrounding buildings. It's like something out of a movie. What the hell? What's up with that truck? Tama? Who the heck was that? Hey, don't look at me, I reply. Huh, with all the piles of stuff, it looked like just like the recycling guy. As soon as he says it, revelation dawns on his face. The recycling guy, he mutters. I see the color draining from his face. The words the recycling guy gave me an idea. If it was him, I thought maybe he thought he was picking up the Anagochis by mistake. We have to find it! We have to find that truck! That man is absolutely beside himself. Chiri, Tama, you two split up and try and track it down. Wait, why do we have to look for it? Again, Chiri and I speak in chorus. If there's no sales demo, there's no money to pay you. And all the work you've done will be for nothing. Right, when he puts it that way, I guess there isn't much of a choice. Somehow or another, we'll have to find that truck. It can't have gone far, he continues. Now go hunt for it like your life depended on it. Chiri and I look at each other and sigh. How do you want to do this, she asks. Want to search together, or should we split up? Let's split up. We should split up. Shiri and I go our separate ways, searching for a truck full of junk. That should be the one. That should have been the choice that will help Minoru get to the sales demo. I make my way to Center Guy. I'm so focused on searching all over as I walk that I lose track of where I'm going, and I wind up bumping into a man who's hurrying along with his daughter. Oh, here they are. It was actually Tama too. Okay. It's Teruo and Hana. They came to eat lunch. Before that, they were in Heaven Publishing. While wandering around distractedly, we're looking for somewhere cheap and tasty. They bumped into Tama. Okay. Oh, pardon me. I hopped to my feet and bowed to the man in apology. Oh, you bowed at the same time. Ow! He bows at the same time. We managed to bonk our heads together. Sorry. As her dad drops to his knees, clutching off his head, the girl begins to wander off. Hey, Hana, wait! The man lurches to his feet and rushes after the girl. She seems like an odd kid, only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. Wait, I couldn't stop them though. Nursing my own sore head, I had to make it all the way to Shibuya Station, but there's no sign of the truck. I'll probably never find it just wandering around randomly. It's already 12:35. The sales demo starts in 25 minutes. I have serious doubts I'll be able to find the truck by then. What should I do? Is this like a keep out? Keep out, yeah. Kano is still at a bad ending, yes. But Minorikawa might not be. To the cafe. I have to ignore the father-daughter. Let's see. Hey, finish article. Okay. Go back to typing. They're still bickering. You reestablish your groove, and then Chiaki would call, right? Oh no, the listening device. We ignore it also. Why did all of it disappear though? Oh, his attention was drawn to a young woman at another table. One of these, and this, 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 that too. She finished with a broad grin. Just let me repeat your order back to you. 1 Japanese-style beef patty, 1 spicy fish roast spaghetti, 1 chicken casserole, 1 French onion soup, 1 fruit parfait, 1 chocolate parfait, and 1 deluxe chocolate parfait. Will that be all? The waitress anxiously awaited confirmation. She with a blanket. Thank you. Okay, let's put that up. Oh my god, she ordered so much. I'm not gonna lie. Why not? You know? There we go. Blankie. I've been huddling up in blankies recently because it's like super cold. I don't know why. Like, I'm sure it's not as cold as if it was winter in another country. Because, you know, the tropics are only like rain and sunny, and then it's like summer and stuff. My god, I want to see snow. But I think I would die of cold. It would be too cold. Okay, Ryoko Kanimura, second year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. It was her. The 5 minutes are coming out of her pace, so she's a bit irritated now. Okay. You forgot 1 large caramel shake. The customer was a full-figured young woman and ensconced at a nearby table. Oh, my apologies. The waitress quickly jotted down the addition to the order. That'll do it for now, the young woman said. For now? Yikes. She was actually planning on ordering more after that? Marveling at this display of appetite, Midorikawa went back to typing. Now what? You heard a strange beeping sound again. Different from the first time. What the heck is that? Just focus on writing the article. That's why the rest of his path disappeared, because we had to insert the part with Cheery. Okay. Here it is again. The plump young woman was set about devouring all the food she ordered despite the strange look she was getting. Now that was an appetite to be reckoned with. It took her under 3 minutes to polish off the lot. 3 minutes? Oh my god, that was fast. Then, looking not the least bit sated, she picked the menu right back up. Was she seriously gonna order more? Minorikawa was starting to take an interest in this young lady. There might be a story here. He conjured up a series of headlines in his mind. Woman inhales 3,000 calories in 30 minutes. What the heck? No, he needed something with more punch. Food for the thought, an expose on obesity. No, that was no good. He wasn't writing for a fashion mag here. Gourmet day in Shibuya. That was it. He'd be able to whip something up if he went with the foodie angle. Minorikawa got up from his seat. It's pretty impressive, he said to the hungry diner. Do you always eat that much? The young woman glared back at him. Not always, she said. Suddenly tension filled the air. Oops, was that way too blunt of me? I mean, she is a young lady after all. Maybe I should change up my approach. Who the heck are you anyway? The woman asked. I'm a freelance writer. I was hoping I could do an interview with you real quick. You want to interview me? The suspicion was plain on her face. I do. I mean, girls all over the world worry about their diets, right? I hear that, yeah. So would you be willing to share your secret or your technique or whatever for how to eat without getting fat? What? Me? Sure. I mean, look at the figure you're maintaining despite eating all this food. The young woman's expression brightened up. Oh, you noticed. There's actually a lot that goes into this. Yeah? The basic thing, though, is to eat 10 meals a day. Minorikawa struggled to keep his jaw from dropping. 10 meals a day? She flashed him a chubby cheek grin. You don't know how diets work, do ya? She chuckled. Eating only 1 or 2 meals a day? That's what'll make you fat. You gotta space out your food into smaller portions throughout the day. That's the fundamentals of dieting right there. Right, but what happened to the smaller portions part? Minorikawa had to bite his tongue. Ah, I see, he said. Any other dieting tips you could share? Well, for the basics, I say always drink protein instead of tea, yeah? Drink protein all day? Seriously? Once again, it took all of Minorikawa's willpower to keep his thoughts to himself. Let's see, what else? Oh, there's this stuff called Burning Hammer too, but she trailed off with a little wince. Wait, Minorikawa perked up. Did you say Burning Hammer? Oh, you know it? I've heard of it anyway, Minorikawa replied. He decided it was better to keep his plans to head to the sales demo a secret. Here's a sales demo later on if you're interested, the woman said as if she was reading his thoughts. Though, full disclosure, I am working with them right now. She handed Minorikawa an advertising pamphlet. What's more, there was a detailed map of the venue included. What a stroke of luck! Now he didn't need to rely on the crummy map on the project proposal anymore. He'd have no trouble finding the venue with the building's various floors all broken down for him. And actually, I gotta get back to work, the woman said. Sure, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to head back and finish up my copy here. The woman left the cafe and Minorikawa went back to his laptop. Excellent! Now we won't get lost! He'd gotten some new info on Burning Hammer's sales demo, but he'd also lost some time. The surveillance camera piece still wasn't finished. It was going to be a near thing to get it done before the sales demo started. Yet instead of returning to writing, he got out his cell phone. What if Toyama got in another one of his crazy ideas? He tried to hang himself again. He thought. The thought had Minorikawa too worried to work on his copy. Bladder hydrate. Thank you. The phone rang several times before someone picked up. And the posture check. Yay! Mr. Toyama, where are you right now? Minorikawa asked. Stretch. Yes. Right now? I'm on the run, somewhere near Shoto. Hang on. I was holding the glass. Okay, there we go. Let's see, residential district. Okay. Toyama was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto? After you left the office, some guys came by to collect my debt, so I made a run for it. Okay, so he wasn't dead, but the situation was still pretty bad. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Minorikawa said, hoping it was true. Huh. I'm gonna tell him to go back to his office. You need to get back to the office ASAP. The office? But they'll find me there for sure. Toyama's voice was a little more than a pathetic whimper. It's a little bit of reverse psychology. The last place the debt collectors are gonna think you went back to is the office, right? Ah, I see, Toyama said. Sounded impressed by the suggestion. For now, just stay hidden until I can get these articles finished. Alright, Toyama said weakly. He hung up. Minorikawa let out a deep sigh and turned back to his laptop. Yay! It's another keep out, though. So, Tama and Minoru are at keep outs. Kano can probably continue. Let's see it. Keep out. Keep out. He's still at bad end, though. It didn't disappear, so he can't continue yet. So what we're gonna have to do is Achi and Osawa. Achi and Osawa. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to see where Osawa was going, though. See, because he said he had no more photos of Maria after that, and I really want to know why. Like, I want to get some backstory on them. The rain won't let up. Just no matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound. It's driving me to strip my life down to shadows. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of rain stop. Huh. What happened to you guys? Because Hitomi seems to have grown up fine. King Solomon's Pillars. Osawa stared at the postcard that was nestled into the final page of the photo album. He purchased it 2 years earlier on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. Okay. The Middle East is Southwestern Asia. Okay. He mentioned that he was being sent on a business. He was being sent there on business, and that Maria had blurted out, "I want to go with you." Recently, developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she'd been yearning to see the area firsthand. His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She'd always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations aboard the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence. It all felt like such a distant memory to Osawa now. "Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that." He heard Kajiwara's voice outside the door. "Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit." The detective was arguing with Ai. Great. "Just who was it who told me I should try and go about my life as normal, Osawa's wife sneered. "Ma'am, please, how would you feel if you were just being told to sit around and wait? Banana time? Honestly!" Ai's angry shriek jerked Osawa to his feet. He hurried from his study to try and calm her down. Ma'am, please wait." But by the time Osawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajiwara's attempts to stop her. Osawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped Ai from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would have made for an even worse uproar. He was glad it at least didn't come to that. He was turning to head back to the study when Kajiwara caught his eye. Resigned, he headed down the stairs and bowed to the detective. Bruh, why are they just like... "Any idea where she's going?" Kajiwara asked. "I mean, at a time like this?" Osawa shook his head. "I wouldn't know. I didn't think so. You know, your wife is really something else." Osawa arched an eyebrow. "That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact. Oh, no offense intended. It's just that ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms." The more Kajiwara spoke, the more irritated Osawa became. "What's your point?" he demanded. "I mean, you just haven't been having any marital discourse." "Mind your own business," Osawa snapped. I like how each character's path has a different feel. Yeah, actually. Kajiwara dipped his head deferentially. The two of us not talking isn't a new thing anyhow, Osawa added. I have a policy of not having pointless conversations. Quite common for Kenji Osawa. Wait, did that just say 14? His current record... He only opens his mouth to eat or brush his teeth. His current record is a streak of 14 consecutive days of which he didn't talk to anyone. Damn! It didn't look as though Kajiwara quite understood. Microorganisms such as viruses don't have conversations. And yet, they still continually propagate in order to survive. Think about viruses, Osawa was back... Thinking about viruses, Osawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a sudden surge of confidence. Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary. And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Osawa? Of course I do. To be a family. Arms crossed, Kajiwara struck a thoughtful pose. At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Osawa. Namely, you don't like to have pointless conversations. It's a good thing to know. Kajiwara uncrossed his arms for a second, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow. But see, that's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me, and because you keep coming to talk to me, Osawa saw red, you don't leave me much of a choice. Bro, why is there so many of us just like standing there, guys? Osawa sounds like a serial killer sometimes. Yeah, because he's so focused on viruses and doesn't care about other people most of the time. The only people he actually seems to care about is like his daughters. Like, I don't see anything like happening with him and his wife. It seems like it's because he said to be a family. I feel like it's because he was like, oh, they need a mom or something like that. I'm not sure. We need more backstory on them. Tanaka poked his head out of the living room. Is something the matter? He asked. No. Osawa struggled to regain his calm. Perfect timing, actually. There's something I need to talk to you about. He turned back to Kajiwara. My apologies, detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy? Kajiwara didn't move. Detective? Osawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile. Yes, what is it? Kajiwara said at last. Don't you play dumb with me. Give us some privacy. Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear? Actually, yes. It's work-related. There are business matters I'd prefer to keep confidential. Ah, I see. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away into the living room. Tanaka, Osawa began. About those emails. He stopped abruptly. Bruh, Kajiwara! Kajiwara reappeared in the living room door, staring right at them. What are you doing? Osawa demanded. Oh, should I not be watching? Osawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel. I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch. Because it should be obvious! The detective made a scolded puppy face and closed the living room door. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. He'd never been an extrovert, but he didn't recall human interaction being quite this draining. Anyway, sir, Tanaka prompted. You were saying? Kajiwara's an expert. Honestly, I feel like he's the one who dropped that listening device on Ai as well when she went to the cafe. Yes, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside. Sharing an Okoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development required the approval of the executive committee, which included Osawa himself. There should have been no way that the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding. Are you aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman? Osawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Factional rivalries held no interest for him whatsoever. Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to... You know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security? In theory, it was physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory where it was kept required a fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. Yeah, typical fingerprinting. Without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. Because a dangerous virus is also stored there, it's like super locked. Okay, it's super secure. Tanaka followed his drift. Yes, I see what you mean. He inclined his head in thought as Osawa continued. It could be that they overwrote the authentication. Because they need Osawa's, so... Maybe whoever was behind the secret trials had reprogrammed the entry criteria while Osawa was overseas. That would allow them to gain access to the storage facility without Osawa being there. But that would only be possible if they had Tanaka's cooperation. Tanaka's eyes widened when Osawa shared his conjecture. Sir, he asked, you don't think I was a part of this, do you? Of course not. I was merely suggesting the possibility. The possibility is zero, Tanaka said. Making any changes to the system requires consent from the board, including your own personal approval, sir. Ah, yes, you're right, of course. I certainly didn't mean to imply anything. Osawa winced apologetically. The living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara and he looked stiff and pale. Something terrible has happened, he said. Visions of tragedy flooded Osawa's mind. Maria, is she... Kajiwara shook his head. No, it's not that. What is it then? Osawa asked, his voice trembling. Sir, I need you to stay calm. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. Did something happen to Hitomi? You see, the toilet's clogged. Blood! I thought something happened to Hitomi and I'd have to go to Achi and here my man is the toilet. I mean, this is bad, but like... I thought he was gonna say someone died! Okay, plunger in hand. Osawa stabbed vigorously at the recalcitrant toilet bowl, struggling to loosen the unseen blockage. Kajiwara was at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag. It's a serious situation. It is, though. How did this even happen? The detective groaned. Are you kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that. The plunger sucked and slurped at the porcelain basin. This was a first for Osawa. He never tried to unclog a toilet before in his life. Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Osawa. What the hell are you talking about? What's this? What about this constitutes a blessing? I just meant at least this happened before you needed to, do your business. Without the slightest hint of guile on his face, Kajiwara picked up his bucket and headed for the sink back in the washing area. Grumbling to himself, Osawa pumped the plunger over and over again. This was almost funny. Oh my god. Almost ridiculous, in fact. His daughter had been kidnapped and he was stuck unclogging a toilet. He was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy and here he was unclogging a toilet. Yeah, I agree. Tanaka poked his head into the bathroom. Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the second floor. That's alright, here's fine. Tanaka stepped in beside him and abruptly shut the bathroom door! No! What is this? Is this a me and the boys moment with these two? The two men were crammed together in the narrow lavatory. Hey! Osawa hissed. What the hell are you doing? Tanaka made eye contact with Osawa via the mirror. He spoke in a hushed voice. I've been waiting for a moment that I could get you alone. I've seen this BL manga before. What? Tanaka slid around to face him, giving him an intense stare. Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment? Tanaka had tears in the corners of his eyes. This'll only take a moment. Osawa could be... I know they're probably just gonna talk, but what the fuck? Osawa could feel the warm breath of his deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. lifted the plunger like a weapon. If you want to talk, you can do it there, Shub. No. I'm going all in, guys. I'm committing to the bit. Alright, do as you wish. Osawa closed his eyes. Ah! Are you sure you're ready for this? Tanaka, what are you even gonna do? I'm not sure. This is all happening pretty fast, to be honest. I'm rather nervous. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in that lab together. I suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Sir, could you please open your eyes? I'd like for you to look at this. You'll have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir, take a look. No, I can't. It's just the two of us. It's probably going to shock you. I know it was. Is it really that shocking? Oh yes, very. Now please open your eyes. Okay. No, I can't. Sir, trust me. This isn't easy for me either. Alright. Bracing himself, Osawa opened his eyes. Tanaka thrust out his cell phone. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Osawa blinked bewildered and refocused on the phone. He could have never anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. Bro, Osawa thought they were gonna have a moment together. Osawa thought that Tanaka was confessing his feelings and Tanaka was actually business. I figured, but you know... I love it, guys. I love it. Okay, so Osawa's at a keep out. Minorikawa's at a keep out. Kano's at a bad end. Tama is at a keep out. Somehow, it's all on Achi. I don't know how it's all on Achi, but it is. Let's see it. So last we left off, these two are on the run. Okay. Hitomi and Achi scampered through the back roads along Center Guy, white sneakers and pumps slapping on the pavement. Achi kept his eyes peeled, continually checking ahead and behind as they darted through the gaps between the buildings. Finally, they stopped in a narrow alley. There's no way he'll find us here, he said. No one knows about this place. He took another look around and let out a sigh of relief. It seems they managed to shake the gunman for now. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Congrats on Hitomi, she has so much stamina. They've been running all over the place for like hours. Back when Achi was with SOS, he had come through Center Guy practically every day. Ah, thank you for the resub, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Studs of Shibuya. Originally founded by Achi and a bunch of like-minded young people hanging out together, but is now a gang that picks fights. Okay. The gang started out as little more than a group of local teens. They didn't do much in particular, just horsing around and killing time. What mattered was they were having fun. But it wasn't long before it wasn't all fun and games. Achi couldn't help but notice the slobs who were making a mess of Shibuya, dirtying it all up. He wasn't about to let them get away with it. Most frequently, it was folks who tossed cigarette butts on the street and plastered walls and graffiti. When they didn't respond to his more gentle warnings, he found slightly more forceful ways of getting his point across. SOS got a reputation. Street punk started trying to pick fights with its members. Those guys required a bit more force to handle. And it came to the worst of the lot, the drug dealers, the muggers, the guys who tried to force themselves on women. It was full-on battles, no holds barred. Lucky I'm not in that situation. I would give up after running for 5 minutes. Honestly, same. I'm not sure even if I'd even make it through 5 minutes. My stamina is trash. That's always been something like when I do this, cause like there's like those physical exams in PE where you do like 100-meter dash and stuff. I find that I'm like always good at running fast, but not for a long time. I can either burst, like run really fast, but it's only a short amount of time, or I can jog, but it's gonna take 10,000 years. Before long, SOS had established itself as something of a vigilante corps. Soon it became known as one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya. Let's lay low here for a bit and see what happens, Achi said. The alley where they hid was like a dimly lit chasm, obscuring them from view. The only problem now was figuring out what to do next. They needed to find that blue van again, which meant figuring out the best way to get back to Dogenzaka without the man with the cane catching them once more. Achi? Hitomi whispered. I think I can handle myself from here. She got to her feet and gave Achi a deep bow. Oh, Achi held up a hand. We've been over this already. You're not gonna be okay. That guy has a gun. If he let her go up against that assassin alone, he might as well be the one to pull the trigger himself. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, Hitomi continued as if she hadn't heard him. She started to shuffle out of the alleyway. Hey, what did I just say? Really, Achi, I appreciate your concern, but I can't in good conscience put you in danger anymore. But, I mean, Achi tried to press the point, but Hitomi cut him off. There's no good reason for you to risk yourself to keep helping me. Her tone was resolute. But Achi was determined to help her anyway. He refused to back down because I don't think she's gonna make it without him. Still, Achi was determined to help her. Look, I want to help people who are in trouble. What's so wrong with that? Huh? He locked eyes with Hitomi, willing her to understand. I'm not the most dependable guy, I know that. But still, Hitomi dropped her gaze and Achi trailed off, feeling like an idiot. Oh, it's no use. I'm no use. He hung his head with a sigh. Huh? Just then, a bit of light shone into the alleyway from above. It looked like someone on the adjacent building's upper floor had turned on the lights. Finally! A breakthrough! It's the Nokane building. Eh? Tama at 12:05. Nande? Why is it Tama at 12:05? Well, I'll take it, but let's see. This is when she found the light switch. Okay, we've seen this, but I wasn't expecting it to be here. Is this gonna do anything about the truck that leaves with the... Okay, let's see. It is the cockroach. I can't believe I had to see it again. What's with the jump though? I'm so confused. I'm just doing the same thing again though. Did that actually remove my keep out? No, it didn't. I don't have a keep out here. Why did I have to jump? Huh? I'll keep going, okay? I'm keep going. And then let's just see what happens if I ignore it. The light illuminated Hitomi's face. When Achi saw the look in her eyes, he reconsidered his decision. She was trying her hardest to hide it, but she was clearly terrified. No way was he letting her go back out there alone. Still, if he tried to insist, she would only refuse him again. Hitomi? Humor me for a second here. Tell me, what's the proper way to dispose of a plastic bottle? She stared at him in surprise. Well, first you remove the cap and the wrapper, and then you rinse out the inside and crush it. Achi let out a breath that he'd been holding. Okay, good. Huh? I don't understand. What's good? Yo, Kabedon! You just gave me a reason why I have to help you out. I super respect people who respect the environment. Bro! I'm one of those whatchamacallits, an environmentalist. Achi pointed at his mean, clean t-shirt. Hitomi hesitated. And what was your plan if I'd said the answer was to toss the plastic in the trash? Well, I'd need to stick with you to help teach you. Environmental awareness begins with good education. So you were going to tag along with me regardless. Look, I'm just super pumped to learn that you care so much about proper recycling. Achi cracked a huge grin. Okay then. Okay. If you're really that sure about it, I guess I could use your help a little while longer. Hitomi flashed him a smile. Man, she's so cute, Achi thought. Achi partially caught simpin'. Let's go. Sneaking out from the alley, Achi and Hitomi began to make their way along the side streets back towards Togensaka. It was a pretty big detour compared to walking through the main thoroughfares, but that would be worth it if it meant they avoided the man with the cane. Achi looked over at Hitomi as she walked alongside him. Her face was solemn. She could feel the intensity of worry for her sister. Oh, well, look who's got himself a little cutie. The sudden call startled him. He spun around. Yo, mean clean, over here. Achi spotted a young man up ahead, sneering at him. Oh, it's these guys. So we beat them up. Okay. At his side were two others. Achi recognized the lot. SOS. Hitomi let out a nervous squeak. Achi? Don't worry about them. He led her onward, attempting to stride right past the trio. Whoa, hey now, you just gonna ignore me? That's pretty damn rude, especially coming from someone who used to be an old buddy. Treetops moved to bar Achi's path. Oh, she's hella fine. Come on, aren't you gonna introduce us? Sorry, man, Achi said. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He gave them a tepid smile. Big hurry, huh? Where to? Some love hotel in Mariamacho? Too rich, another chimed in. Is she a screamer, Achi? Oh no! Bro. Wait. Stereotypical way to poke fun at a would-be amorous couple, and now take Achi's name. There you go. They burst out howling like a gang of monkeys. One of them cackled like a grinning idiot. Ah, Achi. Oh my god, bro! Get you some guys who are gonna moan your name when they're trying to make fun of you. Why are they so dedicated to it? Achi felt his anger boil. Okay, these guys were in sore need of major ass kicking. Huh. Well, they did get beaten up on Kano's end, but let's try to... Yeah, too much is at stake. They're just gonna have to suck it up and ignore them. Let's try it. Gritting his teeth, he tried to slip past them, but the largest of the three grabbed him by the collar. You ran out, man. Susumu's the one who runs this town now. You got no right to keep acting like you're the boss of us. He shoved Achi up against the wall. Says who? Achi asked. Susumu? Say what now? Did Susumu say I've got no right to act like the boss? Bitch, please. Susumu ain't got the time to worry about your sorry ass. Ah, is that so? Ooh. Achi's fish flashed out, catching the man clean on the jaw. He dropped to the ground with a dull thud. So tell Susumu this. Everyone in Shibuya just needs to play nice and have fun. Achi kept his tone light and jovial, but he eyed the other two toughs like a hawk eyeing its prey. Is he going to be alright? Hitomi murmured. She looked at the man Achi had laid out with concern. Oh, he'll be fine. If that's all it took to knock him out, he got no right to act all badass. Achi, huh? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Bruh! A taller man with an angry gleam in his eyes had appeared atop the steps nearby. He must have turned up during the commotion. He radiated a distinct aura of menace. That's me, Achi replied, and just who are you? For once, it was someone he didn't recognize. The name's Yoji Kiryu. Oh my god, Kiryu mentioned. Kidding. He used to roll with a gang of Ikebukuro until a few months ago, known as the Killer Whale of Bukuro. He answered any and all resistance with his fists. His crazy antics led him to being kicked out of the gang, however lately he's been hanging around Shibuya. Joined up with SOS after you left. Now I'm Susumu's number 2 guy. The newcomer stared Achi in the face, sizing him up. Our legendary founder. I've heard so much about you. The founder. It had been such a long time since someone had called him that. There'd be a bunch arguing over who would take charge of the new group that was forming to set things straight in Shibuya. At some point, folks just started hailing him as the force behind SOS. But founder, that was just something his buddies called him. He never paid it much heed. Shibuya was a place for fun, not hierarchies. At least, in Achi's mind, that's how it ought to be. Like how you busted up some mean old drug dealers and rescued your pals from Yakuza bondage. Why would you have to put it like this? Strictly in the sense of captivity. Any other types of Yakuza bondage will not be featured in this game. You're a real hero. Kiryu's tongue flicked from his mouth like a snake's. Hitomi shuddered. Achi couldn't blame her for being creeped out. But that's all in the past now, isn't it? Kiryu continued. You went modestly in your way, and now it's up to us now. We've helped SOS grow by leaps and bounds to help carry on your legacy, no matter who stands in our way. That thought didn't sit right with Achi. If aggressive expansion was the name of the game, then the gang was losing touch with its roots. It wasn't about keeping Shibuya safe and fun anymore. Make SOS bigger, huh? He said. I'm guessing that was Susumu's call as well? Kiryu didn't answer his question. His mouth merely twisted into a knowing sneer. In any event, I think these boys over here need a little lesson in manners. The guillotine ought to do the trick. Okay, it's literally the guillotine, okay. The other gang members started an alarm. Whoa, hey, calm down, man. Please, anything but the guillotine. Kiryu pointedly ignored their pleas. Whoa, hey, what's the guillotine? Achi asked. Kiryu smirked. The guillotine is... The guillotine? Bro! I'm not expecting you to pull out a literal guillotine. Bro? With me, worms. Without a glance back, Kiryu strolled away. His two underlings followed him unhappily. Achi wondered what lay in store for them, but right now he had more important things to worry about. Come on, let's go. He took Hitomi by the hand. They were back on their way. We really just went, anyways. Oh, Hitomi perked up. That's me. She reached into her pocket and took out her cell phone. Huh? She stared at the screen with consternation. What is it? Achi asked. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Who's Mr. Tanaka? He works with my father. I'm not sure what I should do. Achi remembered that the criminal had warned her against contacting her family or the police. She seemed reluctant to even open this message. I'm sure it's fine to just read one email, he said. And besides, he's not the police and he's not your family. Yeah, you're right. Hitomi scanned the message anxiously. It sounds like he's worried about me, he said. Then, does he know about the kidnapping? Yeah, I know my father trusts him. And he's always been so... She cut herself short. Still, it was clear to Achi that she and this Tanaka person had some sort of close relationship. I wonder if it's safe for me to let him know what the situation is. I think it should be, Achi told her. I mean, the kidnappers aren't gonna know you sent an email, right? 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 Hitomi began typing out a response. Achi watched over her, wild speculations running through his mind. There was no way a mild-mannered young lady like her could be dating one of her father's co-workers, was there? Okay, this is gonna be the jump, isn't it? Yes, let's jump. Get you out of that keep out. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Osawa could have never anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. It was an email from Hitomi. Stifling an exclamation, he scanned the contents of the message. There's a man following me. He has a gun and I think he's trying to kill me. I'm safe for the moment, so try not to worry. The kidnapper warned me told me not to contact my family or the police. Please keep this email a secret. But didn't Hitomi give the kidnapper the ransom, Osawa said? What could anyone want with her now? Tanaka shook his head, uncertain. He wouldn't know any better than I would, I suppose. Do the police know about this? And if so, why haven't they said anything? He felt himself begin to tremble as they searched for answers in Tanaka's silent gaze. Do you think this could be related to that other thing? I doubt it. If they were, why would they go after Hitomi? I suppose you're right, but... Osawa was shaking, outright now. Tanaka laid his hand on his shoulder. First, just calm down. Let's think about what we know about the killer. Kidnapper. Killer? Whoa, I'm going too far. His composure helped Osawa keep himself under control. They've taken Maria, the vice director continued quietly, along with the ransom of 50 million yen. And now they're after Hitomi. His gaze sharpened. Sir, do you think this could be someone who has a personal grudge against you? A grudge, Osawa considered. He couldn't think of anyone who would have a reason to attack him. He'd been too caught up in virus research since the time in his school and since his time in school to have formed any hostile rivalries. He didn't have any enemies that he knew of. Maybe someone's jealous that I became head of a laboratory? He suggested doubtfully. He had held his position for years at this point. Why would that spur someone into kidnapping his daughter now? Has anything happened recently? Tanaka asked. Anything strange since you came back from overseas? Since I got back. Osawa's heart skipped a beat, then started pumping faster. The first thing it came to mind was the solicitation he'd gotten from an American laboratory. If he accepted the offer, it would put Akoshi Pharmaceutical in quite a bind. Possibly enough to warrant someone holding a grudge over it. But the only person who knew about the potential transfer right now was his wife, I. No, Osawa said. Nothing. Not that I can think of. He couldn't bring himself to discuss the transfer with Tanaka. He felt a sudden surge of guilt for contemplating leaving his trusted assistant behind. If he did make the move to America, he planned to recommend Tanaka to replace him as department director. Still, he didn't expect that to make up for his abandonment. Alright, I'll see what information I can find then, Tanaka said. The kidnapper had forbidden any contact with either family or police. But Tanaka was outside of that circle, and he knew how to handle himself with discretion. I'm sorry to have to put this on you, Osawa said. And thank you. For now, let's see if we can get Hitomi to exchange some more emails. An uncomfortable thought suddenly occurred to Osawa. He blurted it out without thinking. Why do you have my daughter's contact information on your phone? Tanaka gave him a worried look. Sir, I promise I can explain once this is over. Ain't no way! And with that, he stepped out of the bathroom. Ain't no way, can it be Achi's worry is actually true? Question mark? Something in the tone of his final words left Osawa to wonder. Could it be that Tanaka and Hitomi were dating? He had hoped dearly for that not to be the case. Their age difference alone had made the idea a disturbing one, let alone so many other considerations. Tanaka is 40 years old and Hitomi is 19. Damn! He's over twice her age! Trying to put aside his paranoia, Osawa continued to resume his struggle with the clog in the toilet. Oh goodness. Whoa! Whoa! Kajiwara, why are all of your shots so disturbing? Kajiwara reappeared, still toting the bucket. You seem to be having a lot of trouble there, sir. He made it sound like this whole mess was Osawa's fault. Of course I am. I've never had to do this before. Really, I think the research you do would be a lot more difficult than this. Fixing toilets gives me far more trouble, I'd say. So it would seem. Kajiwara stood watching as if Osawa's efforts made an interesting show. So that's what it was. It looked like something else for a bit there. Bruh. I don't know the first thing about viruses, sir, but I don't find unclogging toilets to be that difficult. Oh yeah? Osawa snapped. Then how about you fix the damn thing? Kajiwara was really a world-class pro at pissing people off. You sure? You don't mind? The detective asked. Be my goddamn guest. Osawa shoved the plunger into Kajiwara's hand. Leaving the detective to handle the toilet, Osawa marched back to his study. He turned on the CD player and decided to copyright claim me again. No, I'm kidding. And lay back on the sofa, squeezing his eyes shut. He was seriously on the edge. Kajiwara had totally broken his stride. What now? The door to the study slid slowly open. It's Detective Kajiwara, sir. Don't come in here without asking. My apologies, Mr. Osawa. I just wanted to inform you that the toilet has been fixed. We're still on about it. Alright, fine. Osawa hardly cared. He just wanted this guy to give him a little peace. Oh my, is that really all you have to say, sir? Nary a compliment or encouraging word? Maybe a good job, Kajiwara, or you're getting a promotion, detective. Osawa blew out his breath in exasperation. How? How are you a detective? I'm not sure I get your meaning, sir. You're completely clueless. I'd like to ask your superiors to replace you with a detective who knows how to take his job seriously. Mr. Osawa, with all due respect, it's unusual for a precinct detective like me to be stationed here at a victim's home. What's your point? Not to brag, sir, but I happen to be an exceptional detective, Kajiwara beamed with pride. In fact, I made an excellent showing on the Superstar Detective contest we had on our police social media service. Oh my god! For a moment, Osawa thought of the bolt of incredulous anger that shot through him was the onset of a stroke. How could a single person be so utterly infuriating? And you can't tell anyone about this, Kajiwara went on obliviously. But this summer, a new detective manga is starting up, based on me. Oh my god, actually is! The fabled detective Kaji. Kaji howls at the sun, Kaji rides the rails, Kaji at daybreak, Detective Kajak, Kaji the queen of the street, look out Kaji, Kaji on the edge, dance Kaji, Space Detective Kaji, and so forth. Osawa spat out a peal of feigned laughter. A manga? I can tell you all about the plot, sir. Would you like to hear about it? I would not. It's about telecommunicating detective who solves major crimes using his wits and his computer. Surely you'd like to hear about that, sir? I really wouldn't. I know I may not look it, but I'm pretty handy with computers. Kajiwara's eyes drifted over to Osawa's desktop. Yo, wait, at least drop the gloves that you used to clean the toilet. No, don't do it. His hands darted over to the mouse in a matter of moments. He cleared the screensaver and booted up a web browser. Hey, Osawa barked, don't touch that. But it was too late to stop the detective. The monitor showed the page for Ayanet, a fan page devoted to Aya Kamiki. Osawa's imminent rage stroke was beginning to make his vision grow fuzzy. You come to this site regularly, sir? Regularly? Well, I'm not sure I'd, Osawa trailed off, feeling a heat of blush flare on his cheeks. There's a lot of stuff on this site. Is there a section you primarily spend time on? Well, I mean, for my part, I, only go over the fan forums for folks 40 and over. Aha! With a twinkle of curiosity in his eyes, Kajiwara appeared at the computer screen. Having his privacy invaded to this degree was the ultimate disgrace. Alright, Osawa huffed. You're an amazing detective, Kajiwara. Just incredible! I see you in a new light now. Now would you please? They're both very aggro. Get out the hell out of my room. Please leave me alone. Yeah, let's get him to get out of the room. Alright, sir, the detective said. Alright, I understand. I'll leave. But before that... Kajiwara slipped his hand into his pocket. Don't need a damn banana. It's not that, Mr. Osawa. I have something I think might be important to you. He held out a small plastic bag. Inside was a scrap of paper of some sort. What's that? Osawa asked. This is what was clogging the toilet, sir. With some hesitation, Osawa took hold of the bag. Huh? That's... The passenger name here is listed as Kenji Osawa. In the plastic bag was a plane ticket, specifically for his upcoming flight to the US the following week. He left it out on his desk. How did it end up getting flushed down the toilet? Looks like it's pretty important, sir, Kajiwara said. I must say, it was pretty careless of you to accidentally flush it. A wry sort of smile came to his face. Although, the detective added, I suppose the question of who flushed it is another matter entirely. It's gotta be. Osawa was at a loss for words. Someone had tried to flush his plane ticket on purpose. He was sure of it. It's gotta be I. He knocked on the door to Ai's room, but there was no response. It doesn't look like she had gotten back home yet. Osawa let himself in. The stinging scent of her perfume pervaded the room, which was decorated in all white. Clothes were strewn about as if her slovenliness on display. She'd been like this ever since they'd gotten married, and Osawa had long stopped caring. It must have been I who tried to flush the ticket. He knew she didn't want him going to America, but still, couldn't she have found a better way to get rid of it? Thanks to her, he'd been stuck hunched over the damn toilet fighting with the plunger. Osawa sat down on the bed amidst the brand-name clothing, and he spotted something odd down by his feet. It was a gold cigarette lighter. Just when had I picked up smoking? Osawa picked up the lighter and set it on the shelf next to the bed. He started out of the room but stopped as he noticed a scrapbook on the bookshelf. The rest of the shelf was filled with fashion magazines, so the scrapbook definitely drew his eye. Curious, he took it down and opened it. It was filled with articles and write-ups about the results of Osawa's research and the company's various achievements. Flipping through the pages took him on a trip down memory lane. There was even an old company memo welcoming Tanaka on board as his new vice director. There was a photo of Osawa shaking Tanaka's hand at the party celebrating his new position. It was a little peculiar to think that she had bothered to keep something so trivial. A series of magazine articles was nestled between the pages further into the book. These hadn't been clipped out for inclusion in the scrapbook itself. Osawa glanced through them. Floundering, Okashi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage as political convenience. It was a self-indulgent piece from some rag called 4-Star General Gossip from right after he and I had gotten married. When the piece had first run, he'd been too furious to read it. Now he gave a quick look, looking it over. It's pretty much exactly what he expected. It talked about how one of the corporate directors sacrificed his own daughter in order to keep one of the researchers on his board. Of course, referring to Makino offering Osawa Ai's hand in marriage. Rumors abound of marital strife between the newlyweds. The article went on to talk about how Ai had been dating another man before she and Osawa had gotten married. The whole thing was a bunch of puerile rubbish. Any marriage involved some kind of calculated self-interest after all. Whatever reasons for their union, nothing changed the fact that Ai was now his wife. With a faint sigh, he put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Feeling disconsolate, he returned to his study and began flipping through his CD rack. His eye scanned for Aya Kamiki's album For Tomorrow, Forevermore. A lot of her experimental numbers were on that album. Given how discombobulated he felt right now, this is what he needed to hear. Again, Osawa reflected on how there'd been a time he didn't care about music at all. He'd simply purchase copies of the most popular CDs, the moment as birthday presents for the two girls. And that just so happened to be an album of Aya Kamiki. Hitomi was thrilled by the gift, but Maria hadn't seemed terribly fond of it. The next day, she tossed her copy back on her father's desk. Figuring that throwing it away would be a waste, Osawa had stuck the CD into his computer and gave it a listen. He was immediately bombarded by an intense beat bolstered by bold, uplifting vocals. Aya Kamiki wrote her own lyrics, which did a fine job of conveying the emotions of a teenage girl. Osawa could hardly believe it. After listening to just one track, he was well and truly hooked. But the day was out. Before the day was out, he had purchased her entire discography. Damn. He muttered. For Tomorrow should have been in the CD rack, but there was no sign of it. Where the heck is it? Why isn't it here? For a moment he wondered if he was going crazy. Then he remembered. It was at the lab. Okay, of course it is. He wanted to something to listen to on break at work, so he'd brought the album there. Damn it. Not being able to listen to it made him want to hear it all the more. It wasn't like he could just go out and buy another copy right now either. He'd have to borrow the copy he'd given to Hitomi all those years ago. Unable to contain his need to hear the music, he went to Hitomi's room. He quickly rummaged the CD rack beside his daughter's bed. Part of him felt like he was being a little sneak thief. According to the email,
Damn, my voice is giving out. My voice is giving out. How far in are we? Osawa is already gonna end. I think we're gonna have to call it after Osawa ends because my voice is like dying. So, according to the email Tanaka had shown him, someone was trying to kill Hitomi. Under the circumstances, he knew that what he was doing was ridiculous, and he still couldn't resist the impulse to find the CD. But his efforts were to no avail. There were no Aya Kamiki CDs in the rack at all. Osawa pulled out every CD on the rack, but they were all classical music. He slumped back in disappointment. Has to be somewhere in her room. He jumped at the sound of his own cell, fumbled to get it out of his pocket. Makino's name was displayed on the LCD screen. I'm out front. That was all Makino said before hanging up. Hurriedly, Osawa began tidying up the CD rack. As he worked, he thought about what he was going to say to Makino. To think that someone had violated corporate policy to such unethical ends. It sullied his research. Osawa wasn't just gonna let anyone get away with it. And yet, as he was about to leave Hitomi's room, a sudden uncertainty gripped at him. He hesitated. Did he have any right to condemn Makino for running trials in secret? His hand began to sweat as it gripped at the doorknob. No, he didn't. How could he? His hands were dirty and all this too. Yo? We need to keep this a secret. Just between us. It'll be fine. We've already cleared animal testing. Yo? Memories hovered. Osawa himself had already administered the antiviral to someone, hadn't he? Yo? It was the only way. Huh. Muttering to nobody in particular, Osawa trudged through the front door of his house. I wonder who he gave it to. It looked like a girl, though. I wonder if it was like when he was on that trip with Maria. Maybe he gave it to Maria? And it was like the only way to save her? Because she caught the thing? But we don't know. So we were able to finish the 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock time block. And we finished Osawa's 12 to 1. Tama is stuck at a keep out at 12:35, but we should be able to solve that sooner or later through Achi, probably. Kano is stuck at a bad end at 12:40, and Minorikawa at a keep out at 12:35. Achi is currently the only one that can move. He's at 12:15. We just came from a jump to finish Osawa. I think we'll have to finish this time block next week, though. I feel like we're making good progress. It's pretty steady. It's just that it really tires out my voice. Like I'm dying. Like every few words my voice dies out now. So I'm gonna have to call it there for today. And thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm glad we made a little more progress. I mean, we finished another block and then now I would say we're at least halfway through this one. At least halfway through or 3/4 through. And I know that there's only like 9 chapters. If I'm going by time blocks, this is like the third chapter. So we're like 1/3 through the game. It's all good. I can feel your voice dying. Yeah, like my voice, I don't know. I had to reread some lines several times. Or I had to pause for a while. I even have to clear my throat. It's dying. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining today's stream. Thank you very much. I'm still really enjoying Shibuya Scramble, and I can't wait to see where we're gonna go through next. I can't wait because I can really see that things are finally coming together even more. I'm especially interested in Osawa's POV because he seems to be like very deeply linked to the case. Well, I mean, he is the dad of the twins, but yeah. Okay, that's it for today. Bye-bye, everybody. See you on Thursday. It's gonna be a short stream of Alpaca Staka because it's also the Naraka update with a new character, so I want to check it out. And yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time, and just stick around if you want to read. Bye-bye!